hear a word he said. The crowd down here is deafening, Sandy.
All right, thank you, boys. Joining us tonight, welcome, Peter Landy.
G'day, Sandy. Nice to be with you. Terrific atmosphere, and I think Geelong might cause an upset here.
Terry Wheeler.
Good evening, Sandy. It's a tough call. Interstate sides going across the border to play finals. A big ask here for the Cats.
And fourth umpire, John Russo. Good evening.
Good evening, Sandy.
So here we go. The opening bounce at Football Park, the second semi-final. Pittman with a big run, King with an even bigger run, but it's Bickley out of the middle. He was sensational last week. Down towards Robrin. McGrath marks in front. Jared.
Yeah, it's interesting that Marty McKinnon has started full forward, not full back. Ben Graham has picked up Tony Modra, and Barry Stoneham has gone on to the big ruckman.
McGrath goes to the outer side of the ground. Kilpatrick leaves it for his teammate, who's immediately shut it out of the way. Good strong bodywork. Kilpatrick in once again at the bottom. There'll be a bounce. Grant Vernon, Mark Nash is the umpire in question here. 96 All-Australian, and Darren Goldspeak making up the trio in charge of proceedings tonight. Just in the Crows' attacking zone, but little in it as King pushes towards the wing. Smart unable to take it cleanly. There'll be another bounce on the outer side.
John Barnes playing centre half forward. Rod Jamieson has picked him up. Tim Hargraves is on one half forward flank, and he's being picked up by I'll get back to that. It's Peter Vardy.
Well, there's about 20 players around the bounce. Hasn't been able to clear the area yet. Pittman, finally Milburn, slung as he kicks. Ball back towards centre wing. Good gather. Burns on the run. Ronnie, a little dribbly kick, and there's a free kick. According to umpire Grant Vernon, it's going Geelong's way.
It was push as he kicked it then, Peter, so crowd thinks it's a bit technical, but if the player is pushed in the back as he disposes of the ball, we see it here, he's clearly pushed as he disposes of the ball, and that's why he muffed the kick.
150 gamer Darren Jarman. He'll be keen to get into the action tonight. Ball, says the crowd. Barnes is underneath. No, it's not Barnes. It's Marty McKinnon. Also in the long sleeves, as Jared said, playing at full forward. We thought he might have lined up at full back on Modra. Chance of rain again tonight. It's not raining at the moment. It hasn't been raining since about 5 o'clock. Let's hope it stays that way. King up high, so too Colbert. Knock on by Mensch. Pickering from Mansfield goes at goal and kicks it. First blood to the Pussies.
What a great start to Geelong. They really have taken up the running, and not surprisingly, all players are running from all corners of Football Park to just make sure they get full benefit out of this as far as momentum. Great knock there from Lee Colbert, and another pretty smart tap across there, which sets up a pinch hitter up forward in Michael Mansfield. We've seen him get best player for Geelong a number of times in grand finals, and he started well.
And what a pair there, Liam Pickering, Mark Bickley. Bickley aggressive at the first bounce, getting the first clearance. Not too many better at it than he in the competition. Pittman knocks it on down. The Crows have a second opportunity to clear. Mormon Allen, first one in. Smart now working the ball, taken by Scholl. Pressure was sufficient, and the kick just rolls out towards the boundary line. It's over, it's to be thrown in. Brad Scholl, real possession winner, and a runner there from the back line.
Curls.
Yeah, very poor checking by Bond. Then he got the message from the runner to allow Mansfield to drift into that forward line on his own.
King beaten from the throw-in. Now a chance for the Crows to go down towards the right forward pocket. And Sean Wren out of bounds in front of him. Full house here at Football Park tonight. Well over 40,000. And it's in the right forward pocket. Stoneham and Wren to contest. The Crows looking for their first score. Wren punching it towards the goal.
That's a great tackle.
That is a sensational tackle. A cry-up ball, but it's Mansfield who gets the hand pass away. They should get out of trouble. Barnes flicks it away to his teammate, and they're away. Back towards McGrath. If it sits, Tim McGrath's in business. It won't. Now he's in trouble. He's got to beat a couple. Swings it wide. It's going to be okay because Riccardi picked it up and gained 35 metres towards the wing, and Tim Hargraves sees it over the line.
And already a change. With a couple of players interchanged from half back to half forward. We see Tim Hargraves staying across the half forward line. He's now being picked up by Trent Orman-Allen. Peter Vardy has gone forward and he's on Brad Scholl.
Pittman beaten. It's pushed towards the line. Lee Colbert almost throws it back into Hargraves. He gives it to Barnes. Barnes, an interesting hand pass taken by Bickley. He's slung a cry ball from Gerard Healy. Not to be. Hargraves gives it away. Out in front of King and Kilpatrick. A chance for Kilpatrick. Gets the hand pass to Hargraves. This for number 2. A wobbly old kick goes in towards Steinfeld. Back to Johnny Barnes. Centering kick by Barnes. Into full forward. At the back was Butter. Got a hand to it, but McLeod clears. Out on the full, so the clearance is only very, very short-lived. Ronnie Burns to bring it back in. Thought about Pickering. Again, thinks about him. Now wants to go longer. Mensch is back in the square. This short little one to Lee Colbert. Improves the angle, but not the distance.
He's got the job on Jarman at the moment.
Kicked 13 goals this season, the boy from South Bendigo. 13-10. He's kicking from 55 metres. A drop punt goes in towards goal. That's a beautiful kick. A sensational kick. Lee Colbert gets his first and the Cats get their second.
Well, another 2 or 3 goals by Geelong, and this would really be an interesting start by them. A great goal there from Lee Colbert. It was set up by a nice little chip kick. Poor marking there by his direct opponent in Darren Jarman, as you're correctly nominated, Peter. But the finish was what it was all about. Just outside 50. That is a terrific kick. Under pressure. And here we see those two back in the middle of the ground, ready to go again.
So the Pussycats have got their noses in front. Jarman out of the centre to half forward. McGrath got underneath it. Chance was for Robran. Plenty of weight being used in the clinches. Now Johnson just outside 50. Robran on the burst up towards Modra territory. The ball over the head of Bond, and the first score for the Crows is a minor one. So the difference back to 11 points. Capacity crowd. There was a doubt the stadium may not be full. It certainly looks full from our vantage point here. Even the members, which was the question mark. Graham, towering punt kick, no win tonight. Barnes, Jamison, was he held? The umpire says no. Pickering, get a chance for Barnes. A little flip out to King on centre wing. Couple of fumbles, a toe poke. Crows with the numbers. Johnson with speed should get there first, close to centre wing. Has to duck back. Hargraves has got him in the footy. Drags him off it close to the boundary line. Taken away by Kilpatrick. It's out of bounds on centre wing.
When Kilpatrick, one of the strong midfielders for the Cats, very important task here tonight. Their ability to be able to run the ball into the forward line becomes equally important, as Geelong have lost some goal scorers out of their side of recent weeks. Hargraves coming to the side for that occasion. Bickley out towards the boundary line again. It'll be thrown in.
You mentioned Kilpatrick, Terry. I think he's going to poll quite well in the Brownlow. It's a lot of the footy.
He's working there with Smart just to the right of screen. But now it's young King. Barnes from behind slaps it out wide towards the Cats' goal. Orman Allen in front. Colbert with him. Riccardi bursts through. Feeds a handball back inboard. Mensch another give. Kilpatrick's followed on down. Just scrubs it into the forward line. One-on-one contest. Mensch follows it on up. Hart, McLeod over the line again. Defensive work from the man in the back line.
Right forward pocket for the Cats. Positive start from them with goals from Colbert and Pickering. Pittman can pluck this one out of the air. Has a little bit of time. Finds McLeod, who chips to Kane Johnson. At 19 years of age, the youngest Crow, he finds Simon Goodwin almost down to centre wing. Hot start by the Cats if you've just joined us. 2 quick goals. Robran the target here. McGrath the spoiler. No. Good grab by Robran.
That's where Matthew has an advantage over Tim McGrath. McGrath will be able to go with him on the ground in a one-on-one pace situation. But he has got an advantage overhead, and he has to take some marks tonight.
Key at half forward. He drifts it into that position now. There's a good mark by the big man.
We're going to see Matthew Robran down on the wing a fair bit tonight. There's no doubt Malcolm Blight's playing 2 centre-half forwards. Sean Wren starts in the forward pocket, then quickly moves out to the centre-half forward position, allowing Matthew Robran license to go up to the wings. That's not how he's played this season. but it looks like the pattern for tonight.
9 goals next to his name this year. He bends that one back. It looks okay. They're on the ball.
And once again, another fantastic finish by a big fellow. And Sean Wren is just a great athlete. That is a huge mark. And have a look at the height difference. Even the size of Barry Stoner doesn't quite counter the long arms, the long roots of this gifted athlete. Coming back from a couple of knee reconstructions, he's one of their key players.
So the Crows get their first through Sean Wren. 13 3/4 minutes left in the opening quarter. King up high. Pittman missed it as well. A push out. Crows free kick. John Rosso.
King just ran straight at Pittman then and really had no eyes for the footy, so the free kick was warranted.
Looked like the start of Hawthorn and the Bullies. Colbert gets back into the space to take the mark. Colbert from centre half back. He's got McGrath out wide. He's gone more up towards Pickering territory on centre wing. Sits nicely for him. Oh, gets cannoned after he got rid of it by Ormond Allen downfield. Any question about that?
No, not really. He lined him up and he was late, so because he was late, it's downfield.
McKinnon into the pocket. Hargraves, the former Hawk, 5 metres out and closing, misses one behind. And he could have gone closer. So Tim Hargraves, a golden opportunity missed there. Now let's see. Ormond Allen. Just a little bit too late. Another chance at left half back. Goes for distance with this kick. Kicks it back towards centre wing. Oh, smart! Got 5 miles in the air. Colbert, a little push from Robran. Ball nearly out of bounds. The big South Australians kept it in. And it is over the line now by Robran. And we'll see it thrown in next to the interchange gates. Let's look at this leap, Jared.
Yes, well, there's no point jumping high if you don't grab it, but he is a gifted athlete and he's going to make a major contribution tonight once it's
So Pittman from the throw-in kicks towards centre half forward. Bond has the chance, just flicks it on back out. Defence, Sanderson works with Stoneham, eventually to Milburn. Left foot, Hocking holds play up now. Feeds on back to the run of Graham. He should let go a long one. Does towards half forward. Pickering floating down. Wastes no time. Feeds it to Mensch. Runs on to 50. Goes long from that line. Directly towards goal, but it fades away. Very, very promising build up there from the Cats. Right away from defence. Hocking started the game right on the full forward line, but now starting to move up into play. Hart working with McLeod. Kicks out towards half back. Chances there. Bickley couldn't quite get to it. Hocking does the roving. Flicks it on back outside again. Cats coming long into the forward line. Trent Ormond Allen, great spoil. Burns can't keep his feet. Hargraves off the ground. They've missed the lot.
Well, that's just a magnificent performance by Trent Ormond Allen. Hasn't played footy for 6 weeks. Was out with a broken jaw. And, well, he's come back and saved the Crows a goal here. This was good hands there by Buddha Hocking. Set this one up. But have a look at the second effort of Trent Ormond Allen. We've missed it now. We'll come back to it shortly.
Jamison brings it out. And the gentleman that Jared was speaking of. Trent Ormond Allen in his first final. Gets it down to Smart on centre wing and it dribbles over the line in front of Peter Riccardi. Good start. Early rain today here in Adelaide. It's cleared. The ground is in perfect condition.
Colbert has moved on to Nigel Smart, as we just saw.
King trying to do the ruck work from behind Pittman. Pittman gets the tap. Costa could have been held. Play on is the call. It comes to Pickering. He does it well. Round the body with a left footer up towards Hargraves. Tried to use the body in opposition to Ormond Allen. Belted clear. Bickley with strength. He was sensational last week. Socket off the ground down towards the 50. Off the head. Soccer style almost. And Nigel Smart is the man who's going to pick himself up and take the free kick in opposition to Lee Colbert.
Yes, and Lee Colbert is playing Nigel Smart like he is an attacking player because he's going man on man. It's a tagging situation. But if Geelong get the ball, he'll be certainly bursting away and trying to get a goal himself.
Pittman's his target there. And he may have accentuated it, but there was a push there, John Russell.
Yeah, he certainly did make sure that Darren Goldsmith saw it, that's for sure. You see it again here, and King behind him just gives him that little nudge, certainly enough to put him out of the contest, and that was why the free kick was paid.
Towards Wren again, and Robran. Robran has a second attempt, can't get a boot to it, and there'll be a bounce on left half forward for the Crows. They're in attack, and they trail by 8 points.
Kilpatrick now at the job on Darren Jarman. Right on 50, left half forward flank for Adelaide. Wren gets front position. McGrath in the road. Jarman, a quick kick up towards Sanderson, who takes the mark back to Hocking. Hocking trying to set something up over the head of Barnes. He nearly stumbled. Scholl gets him out of the hole. Not a great kick. Minch and Caban. Caban rides his Geelong opponent into the ground. Burns and McLeod. Scholl again on centre wing. Brushes one tackle. Nice Shepherd. Again a bad kick. Barnes again a fumble. But the Cats retain possession. Barnes kicks up towards half forward. Punched by Smart. Doesn't clear the zone. Oh, he butters up well. Beautifully done. Sets it up for McLeod. McLeod at right half back. And Wren, great use of the body. I think it comes to Jamieson. And a little bit too wide for Robran. It's out of bounds on 50.
I would have thought, John Russo, that was questionable use of the body.
I think it was. It was very early, and it certainly wasn't intending to assist him taking the mark. It was just intended to get rid of the opponent.
But another look at Trent Orman-Allen's great second effort. He was up there, he got up, he made sure that there was heaps of pressure on and saved a goal in a 2-on-1 situation.
So the Crows in their forward 50, but it's Stoneham who flicks it out to the left. Sanderson can't win it for the Cats. Bickley to Costa. Costa charging through, can't beat the Hocking tackle. Ball spills to Goodwin across on the left foot towards the top of the 50. It's a one-on-one race. Modra in the front position from Graham. Just paddling it this way, that way. Good play, Tony Modra. Allows the support to come in. Working towards the line. Goodwin again. Really in the front position there. And it's young Clay Sampson doing all the hard work there.
And Clay Sampson's got a very important job. He's picking up Brad Scholl, who's already had 4 possessions. He's the Cats' 3rd highest possession winner for the season. And he would do very well to get him up the ground and away from that sweeping position he does so well across the defensive half for the Cats.
So Wren, you saw the handball stats there with Geelong really generating run through the midfield with the use of their hands. Pittman, the player, is going for him. Is it going to reach? Doesn't get there. Riccardi stands the ground, cops it from behind.
Now, I really think that's got to be a 50 as well, Wheels. Clearly the mark had been taken. Riccardi's sitting there like a, or not the mark taken, but just very, very late. Very, very late.
And a touch more than just late, I think, John, too.
Yep, violently meeting a player in those circumstances can result in worse than a free kick.
Well, he was pretty lucky to get the free kick in the finish, because it was a mark that should have been taken. And we'll have another look at it. Here's Riccardi, and through comes Pittman. David Pittman wasn't playing in round 13 when they copped a fair belting at the hands of Geelong, but making an impression already.
Ormond-Allen goes for a big fist on centre wing. Costa soccers it clear, only as far as Bickley and Pickering, who's got him. There'll be a bounce on centre wing.
Stephen King has moved into the forward line. Geelong lucky that they've got so many tall men out there at the present time. They can throw them around, allowing King to just make himself a nuisance value up forward.
Goodwin off the ground is going to be okay. Jamieson, Kane Johnson, inside 50. Johnson goes for goal, but he's wide. Oh, to Monroe. Lux of fortune.
Ben Graham couldn't do much more than that, could he?
Well, when he put the body on him, I thought that was tremendous defensive work, but Tony Modra just kept his hands in the right position. It's almost a reflex slips catch. And like all players, despite the fact that he is the leading goal kicker in the competition, his form has been down a little bit, and this may well determine his night.
The start of his 5th final. They love it at the back of the goals. It's a behind.
They are working on the song though down there, the Crow supporters.
What do you think of the start, boys, in the outer? Couchy?
Oh, it's a good start by Geelong. That's what we want against the Crows. You've got to start well against them in the first quarter, put pressure on them. They were good first quarter side, Crows, but I'm happy to be 7 points in front at this stage.
Greg, your thoughts?
Well, it's very promising for the Adelaide, because I think Wren and Pittman are both doing very well. So they're making certainly a present.
Riccardi marks the kick out. A chance now for Burns in the middle. Ronnie's an exciting player, and he gives it across to Lee Colbert. Does it beautifully. swiftly off to Liam Pickering. Should result in a goal 35 metres out. And I think he might have kicked it. So he has got his second. And the Cats whip that down the ground with lightning speed.
Yes, it was very, very unusual for Geelong. They don't often play this way coming out of defence. Generally, they try to chip the ball wide, then bring it back to the middle of the ground. But we have seen from each of the points kicked tonight by the Crows that Geelong have answered by Ben Graham using his strength, going straight down the middle. Now, when you take the mark, you get the next possession. You can do what we just saw.
Liam Pickering's second goal, Geelong's third. 6.5 minutes left in the term. Barnes having a run in the ruck. Started on the wing in a few games recently. Smart out wide. Burns and McLeod make it a foot race. Burns gets there first. Did he kick it out on the full? No, he didn't. He just kicked it out. So the throw in on centre wing on the outer side. Terrific crowd. Great atmosphere. Neil Curley on the boundary.
Yeah, from down here at ground level, they're very alert, the Geelong players. They're breaking out of half-back with 2 or 3 running players. And Pickering, of course, at this stage is very, very dangerous.
With 2 goals. Pittman and Barnes. Barnes missing a lot of the season with the broken arm. Costa. Bombs it high. Jarman at the back. McGrath off the ground. Johnson stood his ground. That took courage. Terrible kick. Let himself down with that. Modra well out from goal. Colbert tries to get it to a teammate in Sanderson. Sanderson dragged down as he kicked. Good tackle, Costa on Graham. Ball jarred free. Barnes and Modra now Smart as they try to set something up at left half forward. Modra went off the ground and Barnes was on the end of it. Free kick for in danger.
Yeah, that's a tough one, really, because Johnny Barnes really just dived on the ball to smother it, so it's a bit unfortunate when a player's about to kick it. Very, very fortunate. I mean, Barnes has tried to smother and luckily rewarded with a kick for kicking in a manner likely to cause injury.
Barnes goes wide, out to Scholl. He's had a fantastic season. Modra chases, won't catch him. Long bomb down towards Mensch and Caven. Over the top, Jamieson. Knocked back towards Ormond Allen, who takes it on the second grab. Thought about giving it to McLeod. Goes out wide instead. Past Jamieson, sets it up for Robran.
Swings around the big man, well up from the centre forward position to Jarman. Big night for Darren Jarman, his 150th game. Potentially his 200th goal. 3 short of that, but Wren, he's the man at half forward who's giving them everything. Jarman on the burst again. The kick under pressure from the front. Hocking works with the other defenders from the Geelong side, pushing out the front of Hargraves. Has a lot of space if he can take it cleanly. Now just steps back, holds the ball up in towards McKinnon. A one-on-one contest. They stumble with each other. Naturally not a good kick at all. Hargraves, that little bit of pressure, returning to the side this week. To half-back, floats over the top of Hocking and Ormond Allen. Colbert charges the ball down, breaks through Ormond Allen. Kicks now towards the full forward line. Mensch pushing back in the front position. Just drops it down. No ground support there. Goodwin turns this way, that way. Finds himself into trouble and very thankfully, I believe, sees it ball go over the line and out of bounds.
Tim Hargraves having a spell after that wild kick. Went out of bounds on the full. In the Cats attacking zone. Barnes floats over the top. Jamieson was there, couldn't take it cleanly. Comes to the bottom. Goodwin was also there. Ronnie Burns sneaks out the back door. Pops one over the top to his big man. King, 20 metres out. Oh, dear. Out of bounds on the full.
It's 2 bad misses from about the same spot, Jared. One from Hargraves and then that one.
Yeah, he probably should have done a lot better with that one, but sometimes you're better off with less time to think about it.
Goodwin is the target. With 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter, Caven's been in very good form, was excellent last week, and he's going to relieve from the back pocket. A look down towards Pittman and co. Costa offering the short lead. He opts for Pittman on centre wing. Barnes is the effective spoiler. Waiting down is Kilpatrick. Back towards the 50 again. Ormond Allen going with the flight of the ball showed courage. It's sockered by Caven towards the line and over. As we go to Matty Campbell on the boundary. Matt?
Yeah, Sandy, Gary Ayres has got his forward line working quite well. He's keeping McLeod and Hart, Adelaide's attacking defenders, away from the ball so that their midfield can run into space.
Pittman, Milburn, Barnes.
Kick.
And that's beautifully delivered. Snell has taken the mark. Well, there's no wind. The flags are pretty limp next to the flagpoles. So distance you wouldn't think would be a problem here. Chance to increase Geelong's lead. Oh, that's another terrible kick. He's hooked it right out in front of goal. Big pack of players. Burns just couldn't quite get a handle on the footy. McLeod takes the hand pass, and there's going to be a free kick Adelaide's way. Advantage is paid. Hart mops up. Kicks out wide. Costa confronted by Kilpatrick. Beautifully done. The coach would have loved that, but there's a whistle.
Free kick paid for a push in the back to Costa, Peter.
And Darren Jarman's pushed deep into the forward line.
Gee, that was a bit stiff. Looked perfectly legal from here. Stoneham. The big cat. McGrath. They love a red hit at Geelong. But, well, let's see what happened here. Gee.
Yeah, Kilpatrick, contact from the front like that in a marking contest. Here we see Costa set to take the mark, and Kilpatrick, firm contact from the front will always result in a free kick.
Well, I still didn't think there was much in it, but anyway. I'm not the fifth umpire, you're the fourth, and you've got the say.
Yeah, no, just designed to protect the player set to take a mark, though, Peter, that's all.
Fair enough. Bounce on centre wing as the clock ticks down to quarter time. 2.25 minutes remaining. Wren beats Stoneham. Costa confronted by Colbert. Picked up by Hart. Bounces it towards half forward. Oh, Barnes on the burst. Beautifully played, Jono.
Feeds the ball forward. Stoneham can't take it on the first go. It's still across the half-back line for the Cats. Robran back out to Wren. The big man getting plenty of ball at half forward. Kicks into 50 to Modra. 1-2. Missed it. Play on calls the umpire. Geelong defence working overtime just at the moment. McGrath breaks out from half-back. Kicks long towards half forward.
Great kick.
Taken by Snell. Looking to move it on. Kilpatrick once again from the centre of the ground to within 30 metres of goals. Mart. What a defender. Looks to go to the outer side.
Finds Clay Sampson in that position, Terry. He goes even wider. And they can settle it down here. The skipper, Mark Bickley, comes towards his big man, Sean Wren, on centre wing. Just on a minute remaining in this quarter. A quarter that at the moment, if you just tuned in, belongs to Geelong. Here's King in the middle, taking the hand pass from Sanderson up towards Snell. He's going to have to be quick. In fact, now he's got plenty of time. He lopes in towards goal, and he pops through another one for the Cats. Jason Snell, the boy from Upwey, gets his 13th goal for the season, and the Cats 4th for the quarter.
And Geelong have basically set their forward line up as that if they win the ball through the middle of the ground, they're going to have plenty of space from the half-forward line all the way through to full forward. And here you see Jason Snell. He could have just popped the ball over, and Marty McKinnon would have run in to an open goal. Looking dangerous, the forward line.
Snell kicking his 13th goal from the 9 games he's played this year. Under a minute to go before quarter time, and it's a great start by Geelong. Good tackle by Hocking on Costa. Play on was the call from the umpire. Ormond, Allen and Wren go in solidly for the Crows, but it will be balled up about 5 metres from the circle.
And Malcolm Blight has conceded the tag that Geelong put on Nigel Smart. Lee Colbert was taking him out of the game, so he's taking control in a tactical sense and put him to full back.
Milburn kicks to half forward. Good mark taken by Snell. Similar position to the shot he had before. In fact, he might just be a little bit further out. Umpire Grant Verdon telling him where the mark is. He comes in now. Plenty of distance on it. King in the goal square, and likewise Mensch off the hands of the pack for a rush behind.
Of course, you mentioned that Jason Snell has kicked now 13 goals. He in fact got 5 of those in one quarter against Port Adelaide. So he'd be full of confidence against these Adelaide-based teams.
McLeod on the outer side. Just a couple more kicks remaining in this quarter. Goodwin takes the mark. He's on half-back. Will drift towards centre wing, but that will be all as the siren sounds to end the first quarter here at Football Park. The quarter that has belonged to the visitors. And Gary Ayres would be happy with that term, with goals coming from Liam Pickering, who's been the sole multiple scorer on the ground. He's got 2. Lee Colbert has 1. Jason Snell has 1. Whilst for the Adelaide Crows, Sean Wren is their sole contributor at this stage, with 1 kicked midway during the first term. Johnny Barnes makes his way over to the pack. Malcolm Blight heads out towards his charges. So a break here at Football Park. At quarter time, Geelong a 4-4-28. 20-point leaders over Adelaide 1-2-8.
I think the Crows are just laying off till after half time.
Yeah,
and
right.
then I'll start on them.
Good on you, Sid. Yes, have a chat later. Thank you very much, Sid. And Couchy there. He's only been in here 5 minutes and he can pick them out. As the second quarter, Couchy gets underway, and Robran has the ball between centre wing and right half forward. Actually, he's a marvel, Sid. Hasn't missed a game for the Crows, been a sensational supporter. Modra's the target, couldn't take it cleanly. Buddha Hocking gives away a behind, and his timing was perfect. Greg Anderson, your thoughts at quarter time, Ando?
Well, I think the first quarter was obviously Geelong's way. They had so many more numbers at the ball, and I think that caught Adelaide a bit out, especially when Geelong were going to their forward line.
Here's Milburn being targeted for the kick-in. That was a beautiful kick too. He finds McGrath floating past, who drifts it up towards centre wing and taken by Liam Pickering, who had an excellent first quarter. They're lining up the Cats to take that one. Snell is at the bottom. Ronnie Burns is there as well. They combine again as Ronnie flicks it into the forward line. Marty McKinnon was the target, but Jarman is there. Defends again. Comes back towards Goodwin. Simon Goodwin takes a strong mark. A good first quarter from him.
Goodwin at right half back. Crows fans wanting him to get it moving quickly because Wren's on down the field. That's where he's gone. Wren at the back, too tall. Shoulders taken high. The umpire lets it go. Sampson onto the skipper. Bickley centering kick on the lead. Monroe got 2 hands to it. Couldn't complete it. Graham will paddle it wide. He does. Riccardi throw. He's bringing it back.
Tough call, that. I mean, Darren Goldsmith's obviously paid it because the ball was in fact lifted a little bit, but gee whiz, it certainly wasn't lifted very much. It'd be interesting to see it again.
It was a great attack on the footy by Tony Modra, and also courageous work by Brenton Sanderson there to come across and really make him have to earn that. We'll have another look at this.
Yep, comfortable with that throw, no worries.
Jeez, he didn't get his left hand on.
That was a bit stiff. Robran. Great first half of the season, and he's threaded it for a goal to the Crows. So Adelaide hits back early in the second quarter. Matthew Robran's first goal, the Crows second. Well, I must admit, Jared, in the call, I thought he was a bit stiff, but technically the umpire
he uses the left hand to propel the footy, and I reckon he could argue.
We can't really tell, Jared, but he certainly picked it up with the right, didn't he?
He did. But sometimes the handballs are so quick that you need slow motion to determine whether it was a throw or not. But at the end of the day, it's got Matthew Robran a goal.
So Matthew Robran takes advantage of it. Crows, the first of the second quarter. Cats trying to work it out. They can't. The Crows win that one into half forward McGrath. Superior judgment on that occasion. The ball just drifting over the top of Robran. Tim McGrath, as he usually does, looks towards one of the flanks. This time he works with Hocking and Graham. They have Barnes loose on the wing. Settles on that position. In towards half forward. Mansfield will look to move on quickly. The left footer drops it into the McKinnon lead. Can't take the ball. It's loose at ground level. Mensch, a little bit of a fumble. Colbert missed it. Coming back is McKinnon. The Cats working at ground level, but the numbers are really with the Crows, and they're able to bottle it up. There'll be a bounce.
Curls to the boundary line.
Yeah, at quarter time, Malcolm Blight wasn't particularly impressed with the performance in the first quarter, and he gave the old coach's icy stare to young Bond and also Orman Allen. They have to lift their game.
Tell you what, you two blokes give away a lot with your body language. You don't look too happy down there, but there's a long way to go. Here's Trent Orman Allen. He gets the hand pass away. The Crows looking for another quick one in this second term. Bond had it, lost it. Goodwin gets it out to Kit Costa. Costa's away from centre wing. He looks up towards Modra. Modra at the back now. Good defensive work, and it's pushed towards the line. There'll be a throw in. Matty Campbell,
Yes,
you
well,
too look down.
Thank you very much, Danny. The level of enthusiasm at the Geelong camp was such that they just coached themselves. Gary Ayres virtually only talked to David Mensch about leaving the centre-half spot open.
Throw in there. In the Crows attacking zone, almost down into the pocket region. Wren tries to flick it back, then goes again, goes over the head of Hocking. Charging through, oh, good tackle by Sanderson, but it comes to Costa. Kip Costa, 20 metres out, 15 out, and bang! They're back! Costa gets his first, 2 quick goals. And she's hotting up here at Football Park.
Yeah, Kim Costa's had a pretty good battle in the middle of the ground with Gary Hocking. 2 fellows very hard at the football. And interesting that he goes himself here. Troy Bond there would have been desperate to get that because I reckon he's under notice from the coach. Michael Mansfield has chopped him up and he may well be just minutes away from being dragged, but didn't get it. Good goal.
5 possessions to Kim Costa. 3-3 to 4-4, and the Crows with the first 2 goals of the second quarter. Costa over the top of his opponent. That was Pickering. The umpire will ball it up. Grant Vernon to do the honours. Just on the attacking side of centre for Geelong. Vernon, Nash and Goldsbink in charge this evening. Pittman over the top of Barnes. Pickering did well. Tight situation. Colbert has taken the mark at half forward. And within kicking distance, he'd be about 30 to 35 metres out directly in front of goal. 13 goals against his name for the season. 3rd in the club's best and fairest last year. And this shouldn't present too many problems to him. No wind to speak of tonight. Here's the grab again. Lee Colbert. Sure hands. Needs to convert here to stop the Adelaide thrust early in the second term. From behind the goal kicker. He hopes he'll be a goal kicker. And off the boot it looked all right. The crowd's pretty quiet. That's a good indication for your Geelong fan. He's got it. So a quick reply. Colbert kicks his second. Liam Pickering also has 2 for the Cats. It's 5-4 to 3-3.
Yeah, great mark this one. Sometimes the best space is behind you for a forward. The defenders are always trying to block your lead, and if the ball's coming over your head, that gives you the right position. And very generous of the Crow supporters to wave those flags just to allow Lee Colbert to know which way the wind was blowing.
So Colbert's second goal has stopped the run of the Crows, who got the first 2. Wren at centre bounce, uses his height. Very important, the ball that spins around here. A couple of hard players in amongst it. Ben Hart, what a player he was last week. Aggressive running from half back. So umpire Mark Nash does it again, just some 10 metres this side of it. Wren again, the big fella, thumps it out. Riccardi's first back, wants to use his left, so it's not an effective kick. Robran gives it on off to Jarman, the quality user of the ball on this side. Look at that. Modra couldn't complete the mark. Here's the chance now. Goodwin pushes it along, can't keep the ball in, and it's over line and out.
Modra in trouble.
He's having a tough time of it at the moment because he's relying on pinpointed passes, and Ben Graham has been good enough each time to at least get a hand on it or get the assistance of some other defenders.
So Crows chance, Modra responds, up he goes, thumps it goalward. The Cats are under pressure in the goal square.
Free kick to Jarman for holding the man peg, Wheels. Grant Vernon clearly signalled that, so play continued for a short time, but it was prior to that passage then.
So there's no doubt that Modra jump and the big thump really put the pressure on the Cats in the goal square. And they've earned and given the free kick away to Jarman. 197 career goals to Darren Jarman. This, for a player who uses the ball so well, should be a gimme. From some 12 metres out, it is a gimme. They've got their 3rd of the quarter.
And importantly, the Crows have got some of their key forward players starting to lift their game. Matthew Robbins had a good start after being soundly beaten in the first term by Tim McGrath. And Darren Jarman's had a number of important possessions early in this term, and that goal will, I'm sure, spark him to better deeds in this match.
Back to a 7-point margin here at Football Park, favouring the Cats. Jarman gets his first. Barnes floats high with Wren. Hart went floating through, but it's Colbert who gives it back to Johnny Barnes. Having a bit of a fit of the fumbles tonight, and eventually he'll lose it, but he's got good backup support. Picked up by Riccardi. A floating kick down in towards David Mench at full forward. Couldn't take the mark. Andrew McLeod picks up the crumbs. Comes wide. He wants the boundary line, and he finds it almost down to centre wing.
Riccardi caught one after he got rid of that too.
Andrew McLeod continues to mop up. It's a very good matchup, this one, because if Gary Ayres wants to get McLeod out of the action, he has to sacrifice Ronnie Burns, and Burns is always going to be hanging around the goals and taking McLeod to the action.
Wren wins it. Kilpatrick was held. Back to Wren. Play goes on. Down towards the right half forward. Robin did well to trap that. Then give it to Bickley, who wants Mudra. Again, one grab. Can't control it. Sampson's got to beat a couple. He can't. It's pushed towards the line. There'll be a throw-in.
Well, Ben Graham absolutely starring at full back. Tony Modra has been pinpointed for 3 or 4 passes, and you just see there very quickly that he went for the arm. He couldn't get up at the ball. You could have said that perhaps there was a bit of a push out, but that was fantastic play there by Ben Graham.
He's been in very good form, Ben Graham. Bond couldn't take it, leaves it, and it's taken to ground with Scholl.
And another important possession, wasn't it, to Matthew Robber? He has lifted significantly in this first 10 minutes of the second term. After McGrath really did give him a bit of a touch-up in the first term.
The Crows a chance here, although it's going to be Scholl, the boy from Horsham who runs his full distance and brings the Cats out of trouble. Back towards centre wing, only as far as Wren and co. Neither could take it. Snell gets caught. McLeod goes again. Gets the hand pass inboard. No one at home. Picked up by Snell. Back towards McLeod. Tries to belt it clear. Costa tries to do the work from behind. Hocking through strongly. Ormond Allen stood him and did it well. Costa again. He rides one. Got one high. Goes on with it. Milburn takes him out. And finally it's Kilpatrick.
Plenty of tough stuff in there. Kilpatrick up towards half forward. Caven punches from King. Gee, I thought he had the mark. Caven, who's had a fantastic season. Up to Vardy. Oh, he spilled it. He was away before he'd even taken the mark. Pressured by Sanderson. And he's yet to get a disposal.
He's just been a little bit nervous today, Peter Vardy. He's probably trying a little bit too hard. You wouldn't be surprised to see Malcolm Blight just take him off the ground for a 5-minute spell, let him settle down and refocus on the job at hand.
Robin and McGrath, won by the latter. And the ball flipped up towards the boundary line by Sanderson, and effectively it's out of bounds. A little bit closer to Geelong's goal, a little bit closer to centre wing.
Stephen King coming off the ground for Carl Steinford. He'll go to centre half forward, and I'll just get a little bit more mobility down there. Maybe even go into a defensive role on Peter Caven.
Robin wins it this time. Still a hard ball. Hocking was taken high. Colbert goes for Pickering. Jarman comes at him. Great play, Jarman, and he's 150th. Already a goal kicker in this quarter. Bond trying to get his first possession. He gets taken high and he'll get it. Too far out to score. Bond 65 to 70 metres from goal. He's got Costa on short. He's gone a little bit longer down to Modra and Pittman. Modra, the big fly from the back, couldn't complete the mark.
Free kick against Modra.
Got it.
Free kick against Modra for marking interference. Hands on the back, just climbed up the pack. Secondary option was to take the mark and just did everything before then.
And there's a 50 being paid also. You'll see the hands go on, a bit of a push out there, but if he had taken it, I reckon he would have been paid.
You're probably right.
Well, in Warwick Kappa's day, they were paid, Jerry, weren't they?
Well, and so they should be paid.
Thank you very much.
Not a realistic attempt, and I think that's what's cost him.
For sure.
Who's having a great match so far. Good duel with Modra. Graham, oh, look at the distance in that. He's kicked it 60 metres. Jamieson will punch from behind. Does that effectively. Hart, dual All-Australian, couldn't handle it. Colbert, a hand pass too severe for him. Ormond Allen went through solidly. Back into the side today. Mench, a little give up towards, or inside 50. It's all tied up again. We'll see a ball up centre half forward for Geelong.
Lee Colbert, last man up. He's just played 2 games of the last 6, including last week. Shoulder and hamstring injuries have interrupted his second half. He's right into the fray here this evening. Pickering again. He has two. He's dragged this one across towards the top of the square. Barnes, Caven's first one back. Happy to push it through to the one behind.
It was an excellent piece of defensive work there by Caven, wasn't it? He didn't know who was behind him. He may well have had some support by virtue of a Nigel Smart voice. But we do see a change happening now, Sandy.
Yes, Chadron Toole is about to get his chance and come onto the ground. And the player you thought may have a spell just for a while is coming off in Peter Vardy. In the meantime, play goes on at the outer side of the ground. Colbert slaps it back to keep it in play, trying to accommodate Peter Riccardi, but Robin was there as well. And finally, it's the man who turned 33 yesterday, David Goldspeed, who comes in for a bounce. This Peter Vardy just getting the message there. Next to him on his left is Matty Connell. So a bounce on the outer side. Barnes doing the work for the Cats with Colbert at the bottom, and as usual, Hocking. It was Riccardi who got it out. But you can't do it like that. And down goes the birthday boy, Darren Goldspeed. But my word, he bounced very quickly up again.
No damage done, Sandy.
You practice those at training, those rolls, John?
No, mate.
I think John had a line there and he wasn't going to use it. But for all the tea in China, back to the action. Here's Jarman on the outer side. Steadies it down. He's in cruise control at the moment. Towards Kane Johnson. If it sits, he can go through with a hand pass. He does so now. There's Vardy just getting off the phone. He'll be back in the fray soon. Don't worry about that. In towards full forward. Modra runs into a brick wall in the form of the Cat defence being ably led by Graham. Comes towards the half-back line. McLeod shows dash. Socket off the ground. And touched. It goes towards the line, and Ronnie Burns sees it over.
And Geelong doing a magnificent job blocking up the Crow forward line. There's just two players. There's no players now inside the forward 50 for Geelong. But up at the other end of the ground, Tony Modra's got nowhere to lead. He's got David Pittman down there beside him. He's got Troy Bond going to crumb, but it's further up the ground where there's no space.
Wren gets it down nicely to Chad Rintoul. He finds Jamison. Back to Rintoul. 55 out. Rintoul goes towards full forward. Scholl will now have to tidy up in the back pocket. Modra tries to get him and doesn't, and eventually a behind is conceded. So one addition to the board as the Cats make a change. Marty McKinnon off and Sean Simpson comes onto the ground.
He had to be careful not to run over the line with the football there. I think the umpire would have pinged him for deliberate out of bounds, and so he had to get it through the behind. Actually hit the post in the end. Graham, nearly to the centre of the ground. Terrific kick, not for the advantage of the side. The 150 gamer, Jarman has got it to Jamison inside the centre square.
Once again, he was looking for some space, Tony Modra. There was no space. You saw Rod Jamison holding the football, trying to find someone to give it to, but in the end, he tried to.
Cardi, a little give from Stoneham, gets it back again. Kick to half forward. Now the Cats can set something up through Hocking. He takes the hand pass from Snell. Smart. Bickley confronted. Burns. Kilpatrick back to Snell. No near a goal. Crows with the numbers. At the back is Steinfort. Simpson just onto the ground. Pushed. Nothing for it from the umpire. And there's 4 or 5 Crows. Jarman to Orman Allen. Took it a little bit easy. Burns. Great tackle, Orman Allen. Ball out of bounds. And the umpire says free kick. Trent Orman Allen, a former Demon.
Caught red hot here and just puts it out over the boundary line.
Up to Colbert. And Colbert takes it out of bounds. So a throw in close to centre wing. Just on the attacking side of centre for Geelong. 8 minutes left to half time. It's been a good quarter by the Crows. Mensch now having a stint in the ruck. Works his way in front of Wren. Johnson confronted by Hocking. Costa, lightning hand pass. Nearly hit Darren Goldspink, but he was good enough to get out of the road. Picked up by Mensch, no one to give it to, and finally Snell off a step.
Pushes into half forward to the Crows defence. Jarman coming in for disposal number 17. What a game he's played to date. To Goodwin. And left footer. Kicks towards Wren. He's given a focal point. It's coming there. The contest is on. That's all he has to provide. And more often than not, it has been Costa who has been under the Wren contest. And that's not a bad young man to have working right in the heat of the kitchen. Matty Connell just warming up on the interchange line. Mensch taking Wren on, but Wren once again the right arm, but only as far as Kilpatrick. Hocking under pressure, weaves something, ends up with Pickering, steps out towards Burns and McLeod, but McLeod once again's got him covered.
He's on centre wing almost, Andrew McLeod. His favourite food is his mother's curried goose. This time he finds Nigel Smart. Towards Jamison on the outer side of the ground as Matty Connell prepares to come on. Jamison short. Robrin comes charging out. The ball is back towards Hart. Back on centre wing. Gives it away to Chad Rintoul. He's still in the middle. Now looks inside 50. Mondra! No play. Tried to scoop it up on the half volley. No mark.
Frustrating time for Tony Modra. It was very, very close to a mark. It was the classic half volley.
I think it actually goes through him, Jared. I don't think he picks it up on half volley. I think he gets to it before and, well, it looks like a mark.
So here's Hart going for goal. But he's away to the left, thanks to the good pressure applied by the Cats defence.
And he's just got to accept that things aren't quite working for him at the present time, Tony Modra. He'll know that that was a mark. He'll just have to put it behind him because the Crows need him to keep on leading.
Graham at this time goes short. Finds McGrath underneath the scoreboard here at Football Park. One straight kick in it, favouring the Cats in a low-scoring contest. Sanderson spent time with the Adelaide Crows, spent time with Collingwood, goes in towards centre wing. Look at the work of Bond as he locks it up. Troy Bond playing in his 6th final. On the outer wing at Football Park. Full house. We'd expect nothing less, though, on a night like this. Lovely night now. Eventually it's Johnson who slips clear towards Rodray. Takes the mark at half forward, the big man, and he'll look down the ground. Down towards Modra. Bang! He lets one go. He lets one go! What a beauty! So Robert gets his second. And it's all tied up here at Football Park.
Yeah, great conversion and a fantastic piece of play here. Nice little turnover there. And Kane Johnson, who's starting to get some good touches, was a brilliant kick. He really saw where the space was, sideways there for Matt Robrin. And Robrin then had to kick the big goal because once again, Modra not leading. Great kick.
65-metre talk from Rodman to level the scores. What a great goal that was. Fantastic kick. Really brought the crowd to life here at Footy Park. Johnson, a little gift to Connell. Missed its target. He applies a tackle. Now Riccardi gets the chance. There is a free kick this time. It's going Geelong's way.
High tackle to Kilpatrick.
Former Magarey medalist. Kilpatrick's kick to half forward. Wren, great mark. Crows wearing their opponents down. He's gone wide to Connell at half-back. He could almost run off. There wasn't anybody on the mark. There isn't. Away he goes. Connell will kick the centre wing. Robrin coming into some terrific form. Hart, the dual Australian, his hand pass doesn't quite find its target. That was smart. And it will be thrown in next to the interchange gates.
And this is what the Crows midfielders will be seeing as they come down to the ground. And you can see there are other 3 players. Troy Bond is trying to drag Mansfield away from the action, and Pittman is down there as the tall, just for the emergency bomb if Modra's on the lead.
Wren to Pickering to half forward. Now Snell takes the hand pass from Simpson. Hocking the target, gets in front. Good mark, Gary Hocking. And within kicking distance, any score would put the Cats in front. It's all tied up at Footy Park.
The Mensch coming off the ground. Stephen King back on just for the last couple of minutes in this term. 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes to go. An important kick, this one.
The leading Geelong goal kicker on the ground tonight, Gary Hocking. That's number 27 for the season. Geelong back in front. So Gary Hocking kicks his first. Geelong 6th at 6-5 to 5-5 at Football Park in the second semi.
And it was important for the Cats to answer the onslaught by the Crows. Great little mark there, nearly slipped through. And a good conversion to put it. That squared up the goal that Kim Costa got early in this term. Having a great battle, these two midfielders.
So the 25-minute mark of the second quarter, Hocking's goal just steadies the ship for the Cats, but the Crows continue to come forward. Rintoul done a lot of damage since he's come on. Free kicks, 10 to the Crows, 6 to the Cats, into the forward line. Modra gathering the loose ball, can't get the right foot onto it. Kilpatrick was the pressurer. Rintoul again, Foxes for a free. Umpire doesn't buy it, away it's gone. McKinnon under pressure, Connell's a tackler. The Crows are hard and they're fierce at the man and the ball. Sampson can't get it out. Sanderson can, though, this time for the Cats. Out towards the wing, it bounces once, twice, and over the line in front of Jamison and Barnes.
And a pretty fair reception, I think, by the Crow supporters. They've been stiff, as we have a look at Gary Ayres. They've been stiff with the Modra mark. It wasn't paid, and that was clearly a free kick for holding the man.
So Wren, the dominant big man on the ground, does the work against King, the teenager from Geelong. Forward, Sampson keeps it inboard, it goes out. Scholl tries to sneak away, he can't, the boundary's got him. Back she comes for a throw-in.
5 kicks, 2 handballs for Brad Scholl. So his rate of disposal is down considerably. And you'd have to pay a fair bit of credit to Clay Sampson, who's been on him for most of the game now. 1 roll, 2 minutes.
From the throw-in, it's pushed in towards the middle past Johnson and Riccardi. They fight for it. Back to Kane Johnson. Tried to flick it out to accommodate Connell. Now he's forced to try and grab McKinnon. Can't do so. Gets it across to Pickering, who's been busy. Floats it up towards the half-court. Great tackle on Snell. He loses it. McLeod breaks free. Comes back towards centre wing. The kick goes towards Scholl. Can't control it cleanly. Gives a little bit of a nudge and has given away the ball. Shakes his head, but no major protestation. He knows that he gave the nudge. Oh, bang.
Well, that was obviously the classic square up.
One of them. Pittman could have been held there. Appeared most definitely to be. But Colbert plays on, brings it back towards centre wing. McLeod again pushes it down in front. Rintoul bends it back and accommodates Wren.
You're right, Terry.
He's the difference.
He has really given them a spark.
And this bloke too, Jared.
He's
Sean Wren really busting them up.
6 kicks, 6 marks. Into half forward. McGrath got a hand to it. Sanderson tries to get it out and it goes straight back to him. He says, thanks very much. I'm at the bottom of the pack.
But Terry, you'd have to say that Geelong are still winning this defensive battle. They're still making the Crows look for those little keyhole passes, which are impossible in the regular season and almost, well, twice as hard in under the finals pressure.
Just under 2 minutes left to half-time. Geelong in front by a goal. Costa, who's been busy in this quarter, bends it over his shoulder. Bounce is going to be a factor. Favours Hocking ultimately. Scholl off half a step, kicks up towards midfield. No mark taken there. Jarman goes inside the high tackle. The advantages to the Crows. McLeod from 51.5 metres. A long bomb, and he has kicked it. Scores level again at Footy Park. What a final, boys.
It's a great game here, and it's evened up pretty hard. The Cats have to manufacture some goals here. They've only got one bloke down in the forward line at the moment. That's Darren Milburn. All the blokes are up at the other end of the ground. The Crows are attacking pretty hard, though.
Yes, and dragging those players down in there to block them up can also have its disadvantages. Ronnie Burns was just trying to get up into the middle of the ground to get himself a possession. By doing so, he took a very creative player, a sweeper, in McLeod down there within goal-kicking distance, and he finished beautifully.
So just under 2 minutes of play left. Wren again. Can't get it away this time. Pressure from Pickering. Bickley hard at the ball, wins a free kick too high.
But once again, it was the Crows' kick for goal was coming from outside 50. So we've seen a number of their goals this quarter having to be converted from the low percentage area outside of 50. They're going to have to find some other system, I think.
I think that reflects in the handball totals. Just a moment, it's Adelaide 33 to 58. So they're just not generating that run to get the ball. The final kick being right in the teeth of goals. Here they go, this time inside 50. Modra from behind. Graham claims the mark, but then goes on to Barnes. Stolen by Jarman. Slots it into the path of Bond and got him. Play it
was actually out of the back of Bond after the mark was paid.
What are you saying? Square up number 2?
No, I don't think they ever square up, but they certainly make mistakes, Sandy, and that one's certainly at the back of Troy Bond after the mark is paid.
So Bond goes long with just his second kick, and he's got it.
It's pretty hard to be holding onto the footy when it's 2 feet behind your feet.
A late revival, Greg.
Oh, it certainly is. It's been fantastic. Intensity's really picked up. Robin McLeod, Jarman's getting the heap of the ball, and it's really going well for us, I think.
And interesting to know that Darren Jarman pinpointed Michael Mansfield's man Troy Bond. He could have gone all the way himself, but I would have thought that before coming into this match, Malcolm Blight would have said, make Mansfield accountable. Kick the ball to his man, so he has to match up.
From a goal down to a goal clear with half a minute remaining. Johnson is ripped off and picked up by Simpson. A high kick just over the middle. He wanted Snell, but his opponent Goodwin takes the mark. Simon Goodwin, kick number 7. Goes up towards Robran on left half forward. Almost had it and charges after it again. Goes to co-big man Wren. He wants Jarman at half forward. Intercepting though and taking it. Look at this spark from the Adelaide Crows. Chadrin Toole is away to the left. The Cats breathe a sigh of relief on the siren as the Crows came charging home in that half. And listen to this standing ovation. They love them here in South Australia. Big first half by both sides.
A great turnaround by the half-forward line of Adelaide. They were well and truly beaten in the first term, with Tim McGrath doing particularly well. Sanderson was also going well, but Rintoul came onto the ground. He gave them the spark that Peter Vardy wasn't supplying. And Matthew Robran also started to take some marks across that half-forward line. Wren got in top in the middle. Darren Jarman also started having an impact. And I thought Kane Johnson also got a couple of pretty important possessions. So we're pretty well set up for a very close second half.
So 6 goals to 2 in that second quarter favouring Adelaide. It's half-time in this knockout semi-final. The Crows are 7-6. 7-point leaders over the Cats. 6-5. Thank you, boys. There's Barry Round, one of the legends of the game, now in the Geelong camp.
Sean Simpson's gone on to Darren Jarman. Kilpatrick, who had that job for most of the first half, is on a wing. He's being picked up by Kane Johnson, who really did so well in that second term.
So here we go. Umpire Goldsmith holds the ball aloft to signify the start of the second half. One of these sides will drop out. Their season will finish in something like an hour's time. A free kick out of the middle. It's going the way of Pittman. An infringement. He's got to go back and kick over the mark.
Free kicks 15-6 in favour of Adelaide, Sandy.
Pittman towards Wren. He wants a free kick too for being held. At the back is Modra. Pushes it along in front of him, then goes again. Centering kick in towards Clay Sampson. Traps it beautifully, Sampson. A rainmaker though, straight over his shoulder. Wren will try and find it. He can't. McGrath is there. And it is locked up with Peter Caven and Lee Colbert.
Clay Sampson ideally would have been looking for someone running at the goal. He should have just laid that one off by handball. Pretty tough to kick those ones around.
Well, they lead by 7 points now, Jared. This would be a lightning start. Sanderson's hand pass almost to himself. Matty?
Well, Sandy, you mentioned rainmaker. A few light spots starting to fall here.
There's Brendan Sanderson. 6 games. With Adelaide, 4 with Collingwood.
Just robbed Sid's jacket.
Here's Graham again. He's been very good. Bickley partly smothered. The Cats can go once more. Mansfield, a high kick to Hargraves on the outer wing, and he takes the diving mark.
Hargraves, the former Hawk, to put the Cats into attack for the first time in the third quarter. Cats led at the first change by 20 points, but they trailed by 7 at half-time. Hargraves, one of 2 inclusions into the side, minced the other. Gee, a good kick to find Snell.
Good mark also.
Plenty of opposition. Too far out to score from there, although tell that to Robin, who kicked one from a similar spot. Oh, Burns couldn't quite complete it. It was a bump ball. Now the Cats get an opportunity. The snapper's there. That's not bad. And Pickering's kicked his third. All at that end of the ground. And that's just the start that Gary Ayres would have needed at the start of the third term. It's 1 point the difference as we go to the outer. Couchy and Greg.
Yeah, we just needed that goal from Pickers there just to slow the Crows' momentum down. But we need a couple more from Ronnie Burns. Needs to get a kick, and Peter Riccardi's playing full forward, so hopefully he'll lead hard and take a couple of marks.
So on Adelaide, we just need to give it out of centre with Ren's obviously doing very well at full forward, so if Pittman can get us a good start, that'd be great.
So Liam Pickering kicking the first goal of the game, and now the first of the second half. Puts the Cats right back in at Hart now from the centre of the ground, long towards half forward, pushing and shoving from Wren. Picked up by umpire Goldspink in the foreground there. Stoneham towards the outer side. Hocking just slipping away from Costa. A few times he's found some free space. Brings it back in. Sanderson. Geelong wanting now to work towards the near side. Stoneham again. Holds the ball up to McGrath. So there's been about 6 kicks and they've moved forward by about 15 metres. Now McGrath takes on Robin on the mark, forced onto the left foot, in towards half forward. Chance not taken by Hargraves. The ball spills free. Bickley works it along the ground, over and out of bounds. Adelaide, the 1 point in front.
On right half forward for the Cats. As Couchy said, Peter Riccardi down in the key forward spot at the moment. Kane Johnson is at the bottom with Simpson coming over the top. Kane Johnson, the youngest Crow at 19 years of age. Stephen King, the youngest on the ground. He's 18. But this is Pittman and Barnes. And now Goodwin to Smart off to Matty Connell. Flat-looking drop punt towards Robran. Oh, almost plucked it in from the back with the one hand. Sanderson picks it up. Didn't look where he was kicking, though. And it goes straight onto the chest of Kane Johnson. He has a look in towards the middle. Barnes tries to cut across, but he can't. And Connell, where's that one? But he's got the football, and that's the main thing. Off he goes to Nigel Smart. Another one to Ben Hart in the middle of the ground. Hart has a look down towards Robran. He's inside 50, and he's got it. Well, he let go of Torp in the second term at the other end and split them. He's going to be kicking from probably 52 metres this time. No breeze here at Football Park. Matty Connell picks himself up. He'll be okay. He'll be feeling fabulous if Robran boots this. I think he's going with a drop punt. It's a good-looking kick. Distance, not a problem, but it's away to the right. So Robran, 7 kicks, 6 hand passes and 5 marks. Connell up on his feet. Should be okay as Graham comes out towards Pickering. Now Pickering's been pretty good. Tried very, very hard. 11 kicks. Look out. Put Simpson under the gun a bit. Simpson gets his kick down towards half forward. Snell tries to chop his way clear. Steinford, a delightful hand pass. Pickering another one to Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick's 55 out. Round the body he goes. Rockin' Ronnie Burns is at the back. No one is able to trap it. And it finishes up 1 behind.
Glenn Kilpatrick just holding onto the football a little bit long there. He's just trying to get himself some space, but he's putting the forwards off, and in the finish he's because of the pressure of the Crows, he's just having to blast away and not getting full value for his kicks. But Geelong have made a change. They've brought Marty McKinnon onto the ground, and that was to pick up Nigel Smart, who got away to a couple of easy kicks early.
Hart from the back pocket. Oh, Connell runs into a brick wall in Steinford. Johnson's good enough to pick up the crumbs over the head of Burns. Jamison unloads with a beautiful spiral punt kick up towards centre wing. Sanderson does well to punch it away. Maybe he tried for Hargraves. He was ahead of Costa, but it will be thrown in on centre wing with 15 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Crows by 1 point. They got off to a slow start. The Cats jumped them in the first term, but a 6-goal second quarter by Adelaide has pegged them back. Wren, who's been pretty good. Well, they could have raffled that. Plenty of Cats there. Kilpatrick. And likewise there, Riccardi has taken the mark. And the rain starts to get a little bit heavier, I think. Let's take a look at it again. Riccardi and Colbert.
It's a pretty good move, I think, from Gary Ayres, pushing him up 2 full forward. Riccardi, he wasn't getting enough of the football in the middle to make him a danger. And here the players are kicking the ball at him, and he's a pretty good shot at goal.
He need to be from there with the rain falling, won't he? Oh, Wren, just simply too tall. No other way. Hocking was waiting for it, but it didn't come his way.
Free kick to Costa.
And Costa will take that in the same spot where Wren took the mark.
Free kick takes priority over the mark, Pete.
So just a little bit of drizzle. The forecast this evening, intermittent rain. With a low overnight of 13 degrees. It's certainly not cold. Smart marking it as if it were dry. Nigel Smart at left half back, looking for something on offer downfield. Sean Wren behind him giving a little bit of advice. Now he comes up, man on his own is Johnson, who's having a pretty good match. He's opposite number Marty McKinnon, stands the mark. McLatter starting at full forward. Couldn't get into the play there. Johnson kicks to half forward.
Robin from behind, couldn't complete the mark. Turned back again by the Cats defence. Kilpatrick under pressure, picks up the free. Cats needing to move this ball quickly through the centre of the ground. Kilpatrick's kick carries on under Hargraves, beautifully weighted. He in turn looks now for Burns. He's caught behind McLeod. No hesitation. No hesitation there from McLeod. The spoil was always going to be on, and he did it ever so well towards the boundary line.
Hasn't missed a game, Jared. He's been very good for the Crows this year, McLeod. Yeah, outstanding. You would think he'd be almost, well, he'd be one of the top 2 or 3 in their best and fairest, and one of the best halfback flankers in the business at the moment.
Barnes looks to take it out of the ruck, doesn't it? Eventually ends up with Hargraves. He's kicked across the body, across the goal face towards the boundary line. Jamieson keeps it in play, just pushing it on outside 50 now. Another 10 metres, another 5. Well done. Well, it's as good as a kick, isn't it?
It was a waste of a great interception there by Tim Hargraves, because he won the ball beautifully, and he didn't really do much with the kick, just blasted it across the face of goal.
Throw in front of the scoreboard here at Football Park. Just a point in it with Adelaide leading. Wren on the right, Barnesy on the left, Smart at the back with Mensch, who's just come onto the ground. Pushed wide. It's tumbling over the top. I think he's given away a free kick.
High tackle.
Liam Pickering is going to take it.
We said at the start of the match that the midfield had to kick some goals for Geelong if they were to win this match, and Liam Pickering certainly has stepped up, John.
Yeah, look, I mean, certainly contact above Liam Pickering's shoulders, but certainly nothing serious, although that is from that angle. And that's the angle that Darren Goldsmith would have seen. The first one is is another camera angle, but that's the one that Darren would have seen.
Did look a lot worse that time, didn't it?
That's for sure.
Well, he's booted 3 goals, all at this end of the ground. This for the Cats to regain the lead. If he's straight. He's drifted it across the face, I fear, and one behind. Scores are level at Football Park in this knockout final. Under 13 minutes remaining, Curls.
I would have to say that both teams are having great difficulty scoring going to left of screen. There is a light breeze going to right of screen, but for some reason all the scoring is mainly at the right side of screen.
Tell you what, it's only a zephyr, Curls.
There's a little bit there.
A little zephyr. Johnson in towards the middle, over the back of Hocking. Robin tried to go through, so too Simpson. He could have been held. Play on was the call. McGrath does. Off he goes to Sanderson. Another rainmaker. We've already got the drizzle. Comes wide towards centre wing. Good effort to mark there by Lee Colbert. Not successful.
Neil, what would you do about the Crows forward line? Really, Tony Modra just hasn't been able to find some space. Would you push him out across the half forward line?
No, that's where he plays his best footy, Jared.
Would you take a couple of players away from the square?
Well, they could try something and do that, but they're getting their goals without Modra performing, so if he starts to get a couple, it's just so much better.
Hocking, Steinfort, Mensch, and now Scholl. Scholl's kick doesn't cover more than about 35 metres. Burns leading McLeod this time. Sanderson down from half-back. That's a well-weighted kick. Steinfort, was he off? That's the question, John Russell.
No, I don't think he was, Pete. I don't think there was any doubt at all he intended to stop then, but obviously 40-odd thousand Crows supporters thought otherwise. Maybe they can't see the stats that we can see, but I certainly didn't think he was going to play on there.
Well, let's just see. He takes the mark, running with the flight of the ball. 1, 2, and...
I mean, Steinfort all the time intending to stop there, I think.
So So his first kick, Carl Steinford. Any score would put Geelong in front. They'd love a goal. He kicks it, he's got it. Geelong by 6 points. So a valuable one for the Cats. And just looking at those flags on Neil Curley's point, they are perhaps standing out from the flag poles for the first time tonight, and Geelong kicking with that slight breeze.
Bradshaw once again the architect of this one, coming down the ground. He's got to be tighter, whoever is picking him up. Ronnie Burns getting involved, and have a look where the space is. Once again, it's in front of the forward. It's been very good for Geelong tonight.
So the Cats out to 6 points. 12 minutes approaching the third quarter. Wren can't clear the area. Rantoul, great second quarter, works hard. Kilpatrick, he's one of the best in the centre bounce, gets it out quickly. It's rolling into the forward line. Smart's the first one back, sweeps across half-back line. Out towards the wing, finds Connell. Now the Crows are building something. There's a bit of space here. Costa only has one to beat. Does it by loping the handball over the top to Johnson. His run into 70 metres. Kick falls short of Modra. Looking for support. It's not there. Kilpatrick off the ground from Robran. Out. McGrath this way, that way. Turns back around. The right foot kick high out and towards the wing.
Crows have the numbers. Hart was the flyer. Rintoul waits down. Chad Rintoul's away. Tries to chop his way through, but he gets caught, and he'll be pinged. Tackle. Steinford towards centre wing.
Had to find the boundary line.
Well, he didn't quite. And Hart is going to keep it in play to Nigel Smart. It wasn't what he had in mind. Smart shows all his skills, and away he goes. The Crows deep into attack. Up to half-forward. They want to go around. Modra, the flyer. The Tony Modra we know, but he couldn't hold the mark. And the Crow fans are not happy campers. Here's Riccardi getting the hand pass to Hocking. Buddha steadies, cool to Sanderson. He's away, he's going to have to be quick. Back to Riccardi. The left footer from 50 metres could goal. Ronnie can do the shepherding. And it's one behind. Listen to the choir here at Football Park.
Well, it's still maintained that this forward setup for the Crows is at some stage. I think it may even cost them the game the way it's going. All the Crow players are going forward to the ball. Modra's coming out in front of those players, and the Geelong midfield are just hovering around the centre half back position and sweeping the ball down once it gets once the ball hits the ground. It's a real problem at the moment for the Crows.
Hart's away, goes short, finds Matty Connell. Back in turn again to Hart. Heads to the outer side, trying to set it up for the forwards downfield. Kip Foster's going to do that. Look at him go! One bounce, almost lost it. Retrieves it, 60 metres out. A long bomb in towards full forward. Goes across the face, but only to find Michael Mansfield.
Mansfield from the right back pocket. Barnes on his own. Marks the greasy ball well. Scholl. Long looping hand pass. Kilpatrick, you could be in trouble. Johnson's got him. Second go by Kilpatrick. Well done to Sanderson down from half back. Sanderson long up towards the full forward pocket. Good punch away by Caven. Doesn't clear the zone. Burns has got it. Outside 50, centering kick. It's all Adelaide. There's a murder of Crows there. Jamison from the back pocket. Connell on his own at half back. Riccardi chases. 55-metre kick. Jarman on centre wing. Couldn't control it. Hargraves there with him. Slaps it back for a teammate in Simpson. His third opponent now. And he's quietened Jarman in this quarter. Connell steams his way through. Up towards midfield. Now, is that a mark? A couple of doubtful ones like that. But that's been taken by Chad Rintoul, the former West Australian. Onto Smart. Gives it back to Rintoul. Unloads with a bomb. Down towards full forward. No mark taken. Geelong with the numbers now. They should be able to clear from here, and they can through Stoneham.
On the left foot out towards the outer side. Found Simpson. Handballs over the top of Jarman to Hocking. A little bit of space for Buddha on the left foot by Seinford. Drops what he should have taken there. Bounced off him. Wins it the second time, but not able to use the ball well enough. The Crows across half-back. Caven and Hart working together. Hart just ever so cool in the crisis. Uses the ball beautifully into Smart.
It was a good look inside, wasn't it? He had an option down the outer wing, but he went for the more percentage into the middle of the ground.
The Crows using the ball so well here at the moment. Robran, front position, couldn't complete it. The Cats storming away from half-back into half-forward. Snell.
And another classic case of the Crows losing the ball across the half-forward line when they've got one player, Robran, up against 4 or 5 Geelong midfielders.
So Jason Snell He'll kick from well outside 50. Tosses up towards the square, looking for the marking contest. There's no one there for the Cats at all, above 5'8". So Gary Hocking, contending against the taller defence, has no luck at all.
Sampson off, Vardy on.
Allen about to come on as well.
Yep. Jamison with the ball. The Cats with their noses in front. Been tight all night, 8 points currently the margin. Misty rain falling.
Spot on kick. No, it wasn't. It's
out on the full, and the change is being made. Ellen on and Pittman off, and a chance for the Cats once again. Unfortunately, Hart taking that ball wide, and Tim Hargraves checking the angle. He'll barely see daylight through those goalposts.
8 points up, the Cats, and if you can convert these half chances, then you can almost put it away.
Barnsley the flyer from the side. Wren comes from the left, and he pokes it over. A throw in the right forward pocket as David Pittman takes a well-earned drink. Pro fans restless. Down by 8 points, deep in the Cats' attacking zone. Barnsley goes it in front of Wren. Colbert goes down. Smart over the top. And coming in to take charge is Mark Nash.
That's not a ball for Big Wren to try and grab in that forward pocket, is it? And he hasn't got the agility to do anything with that.
They're urging them on now as time ticks away. Wren goes for the second attempt. Goodwin over the top, and it's Barnes who gets it out only as far as Bickley, who gives it back to Goodwin. He pumps it up towards Vardy, back on the ground. Peter Vardy and Scholl. Chad Rintoul has got the pace. Going with him is Sanderson. He's claimed. Rintoul's got him. Spills free to McGrath, and he steadies. Tumbling a puck back towards half forward. Barnes couldn't take it on the half volley. He needs support, and he's got it in the form of Snell. Away he swings. Jason Snell runs the full circle, goes in towards Ronnie Burns in the pocket. Couldn't take it, neither could Hargraves, and it's spooned over the line in a rather subtle fashion, forcing a throw-in.
And Jason Snell has been quite superb since he came onto the ground. He really has been one of the key players for the Cats up in that forward line, taking a couple of big marks and also good at ground level.
Right forward pocket for Geelong. Wren, looping hand pass. Goodwin. Oh, player going down solidly was Bickley. The advantage paid Costa, and Sean Simpson in a little bit of bother. Had the job on Jarman in this quarter. He's done a good job on him too. Socket away from Rintoul. Up towards full forward Graham and Modra. Graham's done a great job down there. Done little wrong. And is that deliberate? That's what the crowd is asking. And the boundary umpire will throw it in. And Simpson may have dislocated a finger. But he's still out there at the moment.
Pop back.
They heard. Robert from Stoneham. Scholl and Vardy. Scholl turns on a threepenny bit, kicks it back towards centre wing, straight to Sean Wren. He and Barnes both misjudge it. Free kick Adelaide.
Barnsley's saying that he actually attempted to spoil, but really it was obvious he was just trying to put Wren off by making contact with his body rather than the ball.
18-12, the free kicks in Adelaide's favour. Sean Wren at left centre wing. Under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Wren's been good. Tries a balk, doesn't get around Barnes. Hart, centering kick from him. That's okay. Rintoul gets cannoned into by Steinfort. Crow fans looking for a free kick. Was that too high on Connell? Yes, it was. Jarman stops, looking for the umpire. Over it goes to Jamison. Jamison up towards half forward, punched away by Milburn. Players looking back at the umpires. They've all stopped.
Got to come way back. Way back.
Mark Nash is paying another free kick for tripping. I'm assuming it wasn't intentional because there's no 50-metre penalty to follow it.
So Hargraves has the kick. The former Hawk, Kilpatrick. Good long kick down towards full forward. Oh, courageous Mark Colbert with the flight of the footy. And umpire Vernon isn't going to pay it.
Well, that's worse than any other mark that hasn't been paid tonight.
Well, gee, Bond got paid a doubtful one in the second quarter, and this is a screamer, Gerard, isn't it?
It's a great mark.
There is a saying, catches win matches in cricket.
Gee.
And that mark was one of the best marks we've seen for the season. It was so courageous. And one can only think that the umpire was, well, he must have been blinded.
Yep, the umpire got it badly wrong there. Colbert had the opportunity, but now it's Jarman. one of his few touches in this third quarter. Simpson, his opponent, has done the job to quieten him. Hart generating run from half back to half forward. Modra a long way out from goal. Little give on out. Rintoul in. Graham a good spin out. Can't now beat the Robin tackle. Modra again trying to toe poke in where perhaps he should pick the ball up. Allen slung out of the contest. It's a loose ball for the Crows. They can't get through the tight and fierce tackling of the Cats. Mansfield works with Graham. Long outline towards the wing. Pushing, shoving. Steinford happy to push it over the boundary line.
Down to Curls.
Two players of the Geelong boys have really tightened up on this quarter. One is Jarman and the other is Robin. They're having no effect on this game this quarter.
And I reckon even you would have thought that was a Colbert mark, Curls.
It was a beautiful mark.
It was. 3.5 minutes remaining. Wren and Barnes on the outer side of the ground. The big South Australian wins it. 15 metres towards Robin and loses it now. Hocking a chance. Buddha around the body with kick number 8. Goes towards centre wing over the back of the pack. And it is Jarman cruising to it. This game nullified to some extent in this quarter. And with that in mind, the Cats have come back. They still hold an 8-point lead. It may be extended here. Simpson is over that crook finger. Probably old hand pass goes straight up in the air. And Hart and Co pounce upon it.
Tell you what, Jared, neither side has got a forward line structure at the moment, have they?
Well, I tend to like the way that Geelong's playing theirs. At least they've got some space. They're playing a small forward line. At least the forwards are being able to run into some space. Ronnie Burns currently playing at full forward, but it's almost hit and hope down in the Crows forward line. But you just have to think that the Geelong side have come out with just a touch more urgency, and they really are attacking their footy.
McCarty's kick goes down in towards the pocket. Here's Pickering. He bends it round, but he goes across the face and it spins and spins before drifting over the line. Throw in the right forward pocket with just a couple of minutes remaining. Well, it's all set up for a big final quarter, and you'll see it all here on Footy's home ground. The best seat in the house. Here's Milburn. And he has missed an absolute sitter.
Same place that Tim Hargroves missed one in the first quarter.
15 metres out and almost directly in front.
King missed one from there as well. Shouldn't worry about your misses. Wren.
Push pain to Johnny Barnes against Nigel Smart.
He went back very quickly for the kick. Cats realise that time's ticking down. Oh, Smart, or Jamison it was, read it best. Puts the Crows into attack. Sanderson missed the mark. Scholl, a quick kick out towards the centre wing position. Barnes racing forward, looks for options between two Crows. Kilpatrick pinned, ball jarred free in the tackle, picked up by Barty. Terrific kick, 60 metres downfield. McGrath and Robin. McGrath, the only friend he's got there is the boundary line. He'll try for it and gets it out of bounds on the full. No. Must have come off perhaps his tummy or arm or something. Did go out on the full. Let's see what it did come off. Oh. Well, make up your own mind at home. Robin wins the ruck contest from the boundary throw-in, but there's going to be a free kick. It's going Geelong's way. The recipient is going to be Barry Stoneham. Stoneham from, well, just up from the back pocket. Looks for Barnes. Wren, good spoil. Ball out of bounds on centre wing in front of Bickley and Pickering. Let's go to the boys in the outer.
Couchy, would you think that the Geelong side would go into this match knowing that Malcolm Blight as a coach tends to direct the football to centre half forward?
He certainly does, Jared, and Tim McGrath's done a great job on Robin this quarter to shut him down, as is Sean Simpson. But the Cats back line, Ben Graham's played fantastic, and also Michael Mansfield's played a sensational game.
I reckon that the Geelong probably haven't done enough this quarter, because that's obviously the southern end's the scoring end, and I think they've only got a couple of goals. So, you know, if the Crows with it in the last quarter, I think we might get up.
Well, we're in the last minute now as Steinford defends to the outer side against Matty Connell and forces a throw in. 7 points, 9 points now the mark. 45 seconds remaining. Chant of Adelaide goes up around. Is packed stadium. Rand belts a biggie down towards Bickley, who was taken high.
The free kick count, strange enough, has evened right up in this term.
The skipper goes short to Wren. Floats one over the top. This is important now. Connell, a high ball in towards full forward. Ellen is one of the flyers. Modra is there also. Neither can take it, and Michael Mansfield quite content to see it go over the line from behind. Graham again. Possibly his last kick of the quarter. Short to Scholl. Still tucked in the back pocket. Now he floats it over the top to Sanderson. Thought about the hand pass, then comes more direct towards centre wing, and Nigel Smart takes an excellent mark. 7 seconds for the number 7. Poor kick. Riccardi gets in front of Wren. Slips onto that dangerous left boot. Goes to Ronnie Burns, but not in time. McLeod gets a hand to it. It's three-quarter time here at Football Park. Pumped up. Gary Ayres makes his way out to address the Cats for the final time before they get down to business. There's 1 quarter of football for the year left for one of these sides. Who is it going to be? A tight third quarter. Adelaide managed just a couple of behinds in that quarter. Geelong kicked 2 goals at 5. 2-5 to 2 behinds. Gary Ayres saying, look, I know that was a mark to Lee Colbert, but do not worry about it. So the boys all come in for a spell. And Barry Stoneham still having plenty to say to the umpires. The Geelong skipper.
It'll be about that mark, Sandy. We'll look to mark to everybody, I think, perhaps except the umpire, who obviously didn't have the view that we have.
Well, they can do nothing about it now. Here comes Blighty. It's three-quarter time here at Football Park. The Cats leading by 8 points. 8-10, 58. Adelaide is 7-8, 50. Nostradamus. Well, here we go. As Billy said, in 97, there's 1 quarter of football left for one of these sides. Sean Wren is hoping it won't be the Crows. He's got the big job ahead of him in this final term. Jared, who are you sticking with?
Well, right at the moment, I think Geelong will win the game.
Here we go then.
Adelaide have to find a structure up forward that can kick them 4 or 5 goals in this term.
8 points the margin. 1 quarter of footy left. The winner to advance to the preliminary final. Barnes and Wren. It is Wren at the second attempt. Vardy went through strongly. Connell chops his way through and gets clear. Gives it away to Hart, who floats a punt kick up to half forward. McGrath, a strong mark.
That was a great grab. And paid.
Don't sound so shocked. Towards centre wing. Scholl runs his full distance. Gets around Chandrin Toole. Shepherding sees him clear. Goes up towards half forward and another one.
Played as well, Jared.
Lee Colbert said thank you.
The Cats looking to make a lightning start here. Colbert's too far out. Thought about going short into the pocket. Then he found Buddha. He's only marginally closer, but he's directly in front and is going to be kicking from probably 47 metres.
Well, they've got about 500 people jam-packed into Cats Pokies down at the Geelong Footy Club Social Club, and I think they'd all be rocking, Zandy, if this one floats through.
He kicked 1 in the second term. Geelong will be rocking. The town will be rocking if he kicks this. Goes from 47 metres. Good-looking kick. Good-looking kick. Has it got the distance? No, said the umpire. Interesting. And the defensive ball is brought out to the half-back line. I think in 10 years' time there'll be cameras at every post on every ground throughout the land.
Goal umpire in perfect position. You couldn't argue, really.
I don't think anyone said a word. They didn't have to. To centre wing. Charge is on now, and Vardy stands his ground and he gets ridden into it. The ball now comes to Scholl. Penetrating hand pass to Kilpatrick. Just forward of centre wing. Chips up towards the 50. Bickley shivered it out.
Mark Nash obviously believing, no, the mark's paid.
To Simpson. Thought it might have gone to Bickley. Simpson's kick is long, and a good defensive mark is taken by Nigel Smart.
And his name written all over that one, Sandy. Out to Caven, one of the form players of the year. Jarman, only 2 kicks in the third quarter. If he can fire, you'd reckon Adelaide should be able to get up. Allen, who spent a lot of the night on the bench, gets a call from the umpire to play on. Allen looks for Robran. McGrath tries to punch, but Robran, strong hands. To Rintoul. Off the hands of the pack. It will just carry the line for a rush behind. Rush behind to the Crows. Let's go to the boys in the outer. Greg and Paul. Interesting one.
Very interesting one. Both had an opportunity and just missed out. But I still favour the Crows because I think that might be the scoring end.
Cats back line will hold them out.
Barnes. Now chance for Allen. The ball's pretty slippery. Barnes over the top of Rintoul. Paddled out by Allen. Costa from Kilpatrick. Gets it back again. Costa from the skipper. Omar. Snap by. And he's got it.
Well made. He's hurt.
It's a goal.
Well, that's as sharp at ground level as you'll see, isn't it?
Well, it's just a brilliant piece of football all around. Good vision by Costa. The kick just didn't quite make it. And any passage of play that gets sit off his chair and under his feet must be exceptional, and this one is. Have a look at this. He looked at the goals, but he saw him from the peripheral vision, went to the top of the square. Well, that was a great snap and goal.
So Peter Vardy, the first goal of the second half for the Adelaide Crows, but it's come at a cost.
Coming off.
His left shoulder injured as he hit the ground, but it could be the spark for the Crows to go on. Costa trying to charge through. Clay Sampson, the player, to come on. Adelaide trailing. So there he goes, Peter Vardy, the AC joint. The joint under pressure there. But now it's the Geelong defence that's under pressure as the Crows come again. Allen from behind flicks it on out with the right hand. Sampson, cool in the crisis, looks for something on the left. It's gone out into some space. Modric caught from behind. Graham attacks it. Connell, Steinford off the ground. Geelong defence really feeling the pressure now. Great trap and great reaction to get back up.
Just in the tackle.
Very simple. Very simple.
He might have gone into the game with that injury because it didn't look as if it was a big enough blow to cause a new one.
So Barnes' big thump buys the Cats some 25 metres towards the wing, but Adelaide with the momentum just at the moment.
16 minutes plus remaining. 1 point the difference. What a thriller. What a day of finals action. It's been on 7. Simpson brought to the ground. The advantage is paid and Butters away. Up towards right half forward. At the back is Peter Caven. Thought about the hand pass, then tried to draw the player, eventually takes the kick. Barnes floats in from the side on centre wing. Robran waits in the back. They've got a wall of players running. Bickley chips in towards the pocket. The kick's a little too far. Allen is going to get there, but he pushes it a little too long. Flicks it back, but only to accommodate Michael Mansfield. He finds McGrath, and Geelong again steady to the outer side. Liam Pickering takes the mark. Down in front of the scoreboard that shows the Cats leading by a point, but they're making a change, Jared.
Yes, David Minch coming onto the ground. Hurlahane off.
Ripped off the ball was Hart. Here's Kilpatrick, but back it's going to come. Umpire Darren Goldsmith.
I should say Milburn off the ground.
Darren would have thought about the 50 then, but decided against paying it. Obviously not believing that Geelong knew that the kick was against them.
Hart has the kick. 21-17, the freeze still in favour of Adelaide. It evened up, as Gerard pointed out, during the process of the third quarter. Colbert at the same spot that he wasn't paid a specky in the third term. Came down a little bit gingerly. Hocking, Kilpatrick at right half back. Remember, there are no draws in these finals. They'll play extra time if needed. Simpson in front of Wren. Third opponent for Jarman tonight. Did a good job on him in the previous quarter. Restricted him to 2 kicks. Kilpatrick, former McGarry medalist. Geelong working the ball around, albeit slowly. Now he goes long. Barnes the target and doesn't let him down. Maybe a little bit too far out to score against this ever so slight breeze. Did Wren go over the mark? Asks John Barnes. No, he didn't, says Darren Goldspink. Barnes goes short. And that's a mark. Hocking, good effort in front of Jamison.
They're doing very well, Geelong, just to continually make some space. Their forwards are being unselfish. They're not all trying to get the football. They're pushing up the ground and allowing one of the midfielders or one of the shorter forwards to dash into some space.
That's the shot that Gary Hocking has. Outside 50, as I said, against this ever so slight breeze. Slippery conditions. You'd probably say no. Let's see what Gary Hocking can do. It'll be close. Won't be a score. 2 up, none down. And socket through for a minor score. Neil Curley, what's the injury to Vardy? Looks like a shoulder or thereabouts.
Yeah, collarbone area. They won't say if it's broken or not, but very unlikely to take any further part of the game.
So Geelong by 2 points, and close games between these two sides is a rarity. The average difference between them is 58 points in all their meetings, and 20 points is the closest game they've played. So this 2-point margin really is tight stuff for these guys. Patrick from behind.
And remember, Geelong have never beaten the Crows here in a premiership game. They won in the Ansett Cup. This may be a first.
So it's really been stacked against the Cats here this evening. And their effort to date has been full of merit, and that coach's box continues to work overtime. Wren flicks it out over the back. Colbert concedes just a little bit of ground, but finds Kilpatrick with space. His long kick towards the top of the square. Nothing done in the air, so it comes to ground level. Ronnie Burns, he's kicked 49 for the year. Still on 49 because can't drag the left foot back far enough.
First score of the night.
Been a very, very quiet period the last couple of weeks for Ronnie, hasn't it?
Well, Rod Jamison is one of the best exponents of the big torpedo. They've tried to chip the ball out, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went long.
Well, he does with a drop punt towards Nigel Smart. He's being well worn. Oh! A couple of Geelong boys go straight into each other. It opens the door for Nigel Smart. Smart's away. One bounce, long and low, over the head of Allen, in towards Bond in the pocket. Not a good kick, and it finishes over the line. Started with so much promise, Jared.
Yeah, well, Nigel Smart could have kept running for about another 30 or 40 metres. And we'll have another look at what could have been in the post-mortem described as the ultimate sin. That was just an unfortunate mistake for 2 Geelong players hell-bent on getting the footy. But Nigel Smart could have almost gone all the way, elected to pinpoint a pass.
Here's Bond in the pocket. Round the body he goes. Centering kick is very, very good. One behind. Ooh, what a cliffhanger. Under 13 minutes. Couple of points. Graham, speaking of good kicks, look at this to the outer side. Simpson took it, then gives it away to McGrath. He's still on half back. Floats it now in towards Kilpatrick. Look out, because he's set upon by Kane Johnson. Eventually it comes back to McGrath from centre wing. He pokes it up towards the 50. Colbert is in the pack. Couldn't take the mark. The Crows now feeling the pressure as it's pushed wide by Riccardi to accommodate his teammate. Well done by Jamison. Tumbles a punt back towards the half-back line. Jarman couldn't get into the thick of things there. May get another chance. Hargraves and Hart. Hargraves and Hart. Still Hart goes close to the line. So do Hargraves and Jarman. And it is locked up on that outer side. Darren Goldspink will come in to officiate a bounce.
There's a great smother by one hand by Simon Goodwin earlier when Geelong looked as if they were set to bomb the ball into the goal square, but he retarded it.
Bounce on the outer side. Goals hard to find. This low-scoring knockout final. Simpson on all fours. Johnson, Wren, the big man, picks it up, floats it high, back towards centre wing. belted down towards Simpson. Hurriedly gets boot to ball. Caven tries to nip in. Couldn't take the mark cleanly. Sean Wren goes again from the back. Ronnie Burns has got to beat a couple of them. Can't do so. But that kick is wide. Geelong are going to get another chance to come in.
Well, eventually with the game so tight, it is going to come down. Probably just the one mistake that decides this game. Be it a skill error, an error of judgment.
Pickering goes in towards full forward. Mensch needs to take a mark. He can't, and Hart defends.
Hart will that go out of bounds like Jamison's? No, it won't. Bounces inside 50. Connell. Hocking's got him. Pick up by Steinfort. Still in play. Mensch off the ground. Only as far as Smart, who's been good. That's out of bounds. Hocking looks for a free kick. Well, it wasn't that in the full. Must have been deliberate. That's what he was asking, I guess. Blighty goes for a drink. And we'll see a throw in. Left half forward for Geelong. They'd buy a goal if they could. It's tight in the clinches. As Terry pointed out, the closest match between the two sides. Jarman looks for a free kick. He's good at that. Gets ridden into the ground. Oh, Wren may have been free kick. No, the umpire says it's okay. And it will be a ball up. Still inside 50. About 45 metres out from Geelong's goal. Good tackle applied. Simpson on Costa. And Kim Costa gives the ball back to the umpire for a bounce. 45 metres out. As we approach the halfway mark of the last quarter, Barnes and Wren. Now Goodwin off one step, kicks to centre wing. He's kicked to a contest. Shog in front, couldn't complete the mark. Rintoul paddles to the boundary line effectively, and it will be thrown in right next to the interchange gates on the centre wing. Crowd roaring here at Football Park. 8-10 to 8-12. Geelong by 2 points. And remember, no draws in these finals. The blood rule.
Yep, blood rule being implied by Mark Nash, so we'll wait until... I don't know who the player is. Looks like it might be Bickley.
Or is it Costa?
Goodwin, I think.
Yeah, it might be Goodwin. Goodwin it is, coming off. He's got a cut above the left eye, and coming back on is Trent Orman-Abbott.
So just having a look back here at Ben Graham, his last kick in, right up over the line. If contact was made outside the square, so the umpire misses that one.
It's worse than that, Terry. The foot has to be completely within the lines, not touching the white at all.
So the umpires really have been under pressure tonight. That is more often than not the case in finals football. Everyone's under pressure. Wren and Barnes again. Wren actually reaches over the top, can't clear the area. And the players all in among it. Trent Orman-Allen, one of the last up, certainly has given the injured jaw that he missed 6 weeks with a solid workout tonight. It hasn't held him back. Been in the bottom of most packs. Wren takes Barnes out of the way and then slaps it away with his right. Scholl in defence for the Cats, can't get the handball clear, and once again it piles up. So after a second quarter when 8 goals were scored, 6 to Adelaide and 2 to Geelong, we've only had 3 goals in the second half. Goodwin just being attended to there by the trainer. Gash on the cheek. Back to play. Wren again dominating those bounces. Scholl in towards the centre of the ground. Snell wanting to use some pace. Hart right there with him. Snell doing well, just holding the front position. That's the way to do it. Pickering off the ground. Jarman, another touch. It will be a classy one.
Steadies to half forward. Now Sampson was at the back. Well done by Robert. Eventually get it off to Rintoul. Here's Clay Sampson. Does it beautifully. In the pocket. He goes for goal. Goes. For goal. Clay Sampson. South Adelaide, Melbourne, Adelaide Crows.
And the 8th goal scorer for the Crows tonight.
Goal it was. He was off balance. He was getting closed down on. He elected to take the man on. Malcolm Blight would have encouraged him just to do your own thing, young man. Go out there and just let it all hang out. And he did, and he converted well.
Goodwin is back on for the Crows. Their fans have found new voice. They lead. Barnes wins it, but it's Buckley out of the middle. Buckley to half forward. Robert uses the body and eventually the fist. He has to. Johnson picks it up, tumbles it down into the forward line. Scholl takes missed the mark on the last line of defence.
4 points the difference. Kilpatrick at right half back. Geelong, as you saw, their last goal 12 minutes into the third quarter. Mansfield has been a little bit quiet by his standards. Mansfield now up the midfield. Snell right next to the circle. They must get a goal, Geelong. Colbert a chance. Haven wearing him like a glove. The hand pass to Jamison. Jamison a long bomb to half forward. Evan in front. A couple of mitts to it. Stoneham's got him. Good tackle. And the umpire says a throw. It will be a Geelong free kick. Barry Stoneham at centre half back to take it.
Can't handball the ball with one hand.
64 plays 60. Out wide, Sanderson. Robin chases. Sanderson's kick to Pickering. 3 bites. He's got it in front of Bickley. Still at centre wing though, Geelong. Mensch. Yes, good mark. Well, he's within kicking distance. That shouldn't be a problem from there. He'll kick from about 45. One of 2 inclusions into the side for this match.
Really pretty came in to do that more often, take those big marks.
Kicks from 45. He's got the distance, the accuracy. I don't know. One behind only. So that makes the difference. 3 points now at Football Park. 9-10 to 8-13. Couchy, you're getting a bit worried, mate.
Oh, a little bit toey here, Jared. Just a toss of the coin here. The Cats have been fantastic all night. You know, to come and get over here and to be so close, and it's a great job. And the back lines hopefully keep them out. And Riccardi or somebody kick a goal here. It's still in it.
So the Cats looking for a second chance here. Barnes back to Hargraves. Kick actually smothered there by Jarman, or kicked into him. He gathers the ball, uses it absolutely perfectly. Knows no other way to use the ball as Darren Jarman. Robram tries another big talk. This one doesn't come off. Allen, ground level, whips it on out. Rintoul across the body towards the top of the square. Holdingfield in front, being held, gets the free kick. So Mansfield deep in defence across the ground to Graham.
John Barnes pushing up pretty quickly, trying to get off Sean Wren.
They need to generate a run through here. Mensch paddles along out to Pickering. He across the body to a one-on-one contest. Snell in front, can't take the mark. And right on the 50-metre line, the ball's going to be bounced by umpire Goldsmith. Adelaide in front by 3 points.
Well, Hocking looks as if he's just going up and down in the one spot. He's run himself into the ground. Maybe he'd be just better off finishing this game inside the forward 50 to kick perhaps a match-winning goal.
Here's Kilpatrick in front of a crowd of 46,101. Hawkins kicks straight up and down. Timely mark taken by Smart. He's at half-back. Comes to centre wing. Adelaide leads by 3 points. Peter Cavan with his 4th kick for the night goes into half-forward. And he finds Allen. Still a long way from home. Into the hole comes Bond.
Only 3 kicks for the night and a doubtful mark, but no doubt about that one.
Yes, but he really has been a decoy in many respects. He's tried to take Michael Mansfield out of the game, and he's done that with some success. And if he can add this one to his goal, well, then he's had a fair input into this game for the Crows.
This will make it hard for the Cats. They rise as one. Well, Cactus now. Troy Bond has his second. Both of that into the ground.
Yeah, there won't be a lot of time on because not a lot of goals, but you see there, what the difference has been with the Crows in this term is that they have finally got some space in the forward line. It's opened up. Robin's been on his own a number of times. They've got the ball down there effectively. And there you saw what Malcolm Blight was after. Hitting the ball to one of those 3 options, all leading players.
There he is, a bit worried. Troy Bond only 4 kicks but 2 goals, and one of only 2 multiple goal kickers for Adelaide. Robin has kicked 2 goals too. Hocking, a chance to pick up in midfield. Geelong, goalless in the last quarter so far. Their last goal, a 12-minute mark of the 3rd term. This is Steinford. But they're breaking down across half forward. Will that be the same again? Yes, it will. Cavan, almost a hand pass to himself, but the Crows are really on a roll. Cole chips it up towards Rintoul. One bounce by the former West Australian. Outside 50, wobbly punt. Bond again. Nearly, no, not quite. Scholl tidies up, gets clear of Sampson to Sanderson. Bond chases. Sanderson at half-back. Bends it up towards where Simpson takes the mark in front of Jarman. The leading kick getter in the match, he's got 20. That's Jarman, not Simpson, but Simpson's done a good job on him after half-time. Barnes at midfield. Desperation time for the Cats. We've got only 4 minutes now left in the final quarter. You think Adelaide are just about there. They can keep going. Simon Goodwin with the Bruce Doyle headband on. Hargraves, a fumble. Hart has him. The ball over the boundary line for throw-in. You'd reckon the Crows do it from here, wouldn't you?
Well, at home you think so. They're always going to be tough to beat over here, and Sid just cannot believe it that it's taken the Crows that long to get in front.
Just over 3 minutes of play left. Western Bulldogs, they'd be sitting back in the western suburbs of Melbourne, watching for their next opponent. At this stage, it does look like the Crows. Joe! You can't keep a good man down, can you? Game number 150, and steps in on cue. Pushes the ball on out to Costa. His job has been extremely workmanlike on Hocking. Hard in underneath, prepared to run, create space.
25 possessions to Gary Hocking now. It's been a pretty even battle.
So Costa in towards half forward. Robin does the pushing and shoving. Doesn't get the ball. Burns uses Sanderson. He in turn to Barnes. Sanderson follows on up. Squeezed up against the boundary line. Pushes it back across. Snell attacking the ball. This is a push for the Cats here. As Simpson inside 50 goes long right towards the top of the square. Big fella can't take it. It's a loose ball at the back. Pickering, the goal scorer, goes to ground in the push or the shove. It's held together. The umpire will bounce it.
I think Nashi was tossing up whether he'd play a push in the back or holding the ball there. I think his body language was a bit undecided.
So Liam Pickering has kicked 3 goals, 2 in the first, 1 in the third. Missed an opportunity there.
50 goal square.
Stoneham down, and Smart once again, the defender clears the area.
Gains probably 40 metres, but Kilpatrick picks it up, gives it back to Scholl. He's still outside 50. Now he's on 50. Scholl goes for goal. They desperately need this one. It's going to be close. Touched on the line. Oh, gee, that was close.
Oh, he had a sense of fear to that goal umpire, didn't he?
Have a look at it once again, Jared.
Yeah, nice bit of shepherding work there by Barry Stoneham, but he couldn't keep Andrew McLeod out of it. He is just an exceptional player.
Play goes on, and time ticks down for the Cats. Neil.
Yeah, you have to admire Geelong here. They really are fighting desperately hard against a confident Crow side and going against the scoring end.
8 points the margin and under 2 minutes left. Wren off the side of the boot. The Cats will get another chance. Dropped by Matty Campbell.
Poor kick from Wren, but he has had a fair impact on this game in the last quarter. Just his extra height has allowed him to get some pretty important punches away.
There was an unusual shot. Couchy smiling and talking. Don't often see that. To half forward. Wren. Colbert rips him off the ball. He hasn't got it. And he's going to take the free kick on half-back. Big Sean Wren. 10 kicks, 6 hand passes, 7 marks. Costa. The Crows hoping to finish in a blaze of glory. He runs a long way. A flat-looking punt kick to Bond. What a grab! Well, he might have been quiet early, but he's finishing in a blaze of glory. Troy Bond. 1 in the second, 1 a few minutes ago, and 1 that can shut the lid on Geelong's 97 season and take the Crows into a preliminary final.
Yep, first since 93.
From 52 metres. It's a lovely kick from Bond.
That's it.
Magnets. The Crows are there.
Well, he's been quiet on the the scoreboard, on the stat sheet, 5-1 and 3. He's kicked 3 goals from 5 kicks, Gerard. So
he has done his job, Peter. He has been a very good player in the end. He's taken on a very good opponent in Mansfield. He's got a good finals record, and he's kicked a number of goals when it counted.
Gary Ayres knows the cause is lost. Troy Bond, 3 goals from 5 kicks and 1 hand pass. And we're inside the last minute. Wren, who's been pretty good. That could have been a free kick to Sanderson. McGrath straight ahead. The Cats still goalless in the final quarter. They went close like their September efforts this year, but not good enough. And the mark has been taken down there by Peter Riccardi just outside 50. Gets things moving quickly. And again, now Burns, first goal of the night, he's kicked it, but a little bit late, you would think. Ronnie Burns' first goal, and the Cats 9th, their first of the last quarter. It's 9-14 to 11-10. And our boys on the boundary, our boys in the outer. Thanks for your efforts, fellas.
It's quite incredible that Geelong had so much of the play, yet that's the only goal they scored this quarter.
They've done a great job, Geelong. They've had a real crack come over to Adelaide, and they're very proud of the boys. Still not out of it yet, though. And whilst the runner said, "We've got to go long, boys. We've got to go long."
So the Cats have got one, but it really has been the Crows in the last quarter here. 4 goals, Troy Bond 2 of them, and not to be denied. Here they come. Rintoul on 50, wobbles it down. Bond's caught behind eventually this time. Mansfield keeps it in front. Graham, handballs on out wide. Hocking's away from halfback, pushes on wide out towards the wing. Kilpatrick props into Barnes.
Johnny Barnes from the middle. A long bomb, but it's too late. There's the siren. The Crows have won a preliminary final berth. The Cats' year is over.
2 losses in the finals to Geelong, and Gary Ayres can't believe it.
And look, just emphasises the cutthroat nature of this final system in the national competition.
And again, the away teams, Gerard, not being able to win, so that means 16 consecutive interstate finals have been won by the home side.
Yes, and you just go back to the first couple of minutes of this final quarter when I think it was Buttahocky had the shot at goal, the ball lobbed on the line. They may well have been able to be shepherded through with a bit of extra support down there. That may well have changed the nature of this victory, but what an exciting finish it was. Both teams really did just slog it out in the finish, and the end result, I think, was just that the Crows opened up their forward line and got their avenues to goal working a lot better.
And Lee Colbert has just finished having a long chat with the umpires. But that's history now.
What do you think he was talking about, Sanders?
The wake that's coming up at Geelong later this week. Cricket and a mark. But nevertheless, let's concentrate on the Crows for a moment. Sean Wren just going over to shake Johnny Barnes' hand, then head back to his team. I think I can see Curls down there in the middle of the ground at the moment. Yes, there he is with Sean Wren and Darren Jarman. Jars 159 miles. Curls.
DJ, you had to push all the way.
Yeah, they gave it everything to their credit. We knew they would, and the games are really love to win them ones.
The old heart must have been ticking that last quarter, big fella.
Yeah, we just stuck at it, and give Geelong a lot of credit, mate. They stuck with it, and we're across the line.
Big thing too to win with no goals from Tony Modra.
Yeah, that's terrific. The boys mixing up down there, and Bondi kicking about 3 there at the end was magnificent.
Yeah, boys, join your teammates.
Good on you, Curls.
An even more emphatic victory, I guess, for Adelaide, given that Tony Modra didn't kick a goal. So a great performance by Ben Graham, and a great performance by Geelong. Certainly they'll be able to go home to Geelong and be very proud of their performance over here. It was a real slog and just stiff in the finish.
And now they can look forward to the Western Bulldogs. Terry Wallace flew over today to have a look at this game. We hope to be speaking with him a little bit later on our telecast.
I suppose the question we've got to ask is, Sandy, how can they perform away from home now after
next week. They've been great supporters of this club all season. Another full house tonight, a crowd of 46,101 in attendance. They've seen them win a thriller. Troy Bond finishing with 3 goals. Matthew Roderick booted 2. Singles to Jarman, Costa, McLeod, Sampson, Varney and Wren. Whilst for the Cats, Liam Pickering was their main scorer with 3. Lee Colvin booted 2. There's Jars. He's got 150 under his belt.
21 kicks tonight.
He's done it in style. Spare a thought for those who may not be there next week. Who knows?
His goal in the last quarter was the spark that really got the guys over the line. I think it's just an incredible individual performance, and coaches often say that it may well not be a day, but stand by, because a moment may occur, and he grasped his one opportunity for success in this match, and wasn't an important moment.
It certainly was for a young player who was originally the under-15 South Australian captain, Peter Varney. Let's hope things aren't too bad for him.
Of course, it may open up the way for Mark Rashuda to come back. I guess it'd be a possibility this week.
I think he'd probably force his way in if he was available, Pete, but I do believe he's got a couple of hernias around the groin area, and he's in a bit of trouble.
Well, that's bad luck for him with the Crows reaching the preliminary final. Only their second preliminary final. You remember the previous one against Essendon?
They don't want to.
They looked to have it wrapped up at half-time, and the Bombers came home like a train, didn't they?
42 points, I think the margin was at half-time. And there's Mark Rashuda just on the very right of screen. He's gone out of screen now, but I'm sure he'll be in fine voice, as will his teammates. We're just gathering them all in. There's 1 or 2 missing. So, 1 step closer to a grand final. Their runner, Peter Jonas, Andy McLeod.
He wants to go a couple of rounds.
I think he's been on his mother's curried goose. A little bit too early. There's Mark Bickley and Mark Rashuda. Will he get his chance next week? One thing's for certain. He'll put his hand up.
Well, he might
get the nod, but he'll put his hand up. And Tony Modra, well, not his night tonight. He still sits on 84 goals for the season. Now, Troy Bond finished with 3 in a blaze of glory. Curls has got in there, Curls.
Yeah, certainly. Well, Troy, that was a remarkable finish.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic. I just over the moon. I just couldn't believe it.
You were struggling early, weren't you, to get in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I had the job on Mickey, just trying to keep him out of the play and, you know, just stop his run and try to snag a few, and it all worked out in the end, so I was pretty lucky.
And Matty, you had a real tough battle with McGrath.
Yeah, he's a good player, very tough, very honest, and yeah, it was quite a good duel in the end.
You'd be happy with your form, because I thought tonight you really gave them something to kick at.
Better than the last couple of weeks anyway, Neil. I mean, it's sort of been down in form and just moved around a bit more tonight, and fortunately the boys gave us some very nice passes and found me, so it was nice.
Now, with the good things, of course, there's occasionally a bad one. I believe a bit of a rocket for not following Mansfield down early.
Yeah, I got a bit of a rocket at quarter time. Blighty told me off and said to bounce back, so all worked out in the end, so I was pretty happy.
Were you confident of kicking those long goals in the last quarter?
Oh, not really. I was a bit nervous, but all worked out. I kicked them, so I'm pretty happy.
It's a great effort to put your head on the pillow tonight and think about it, isn't it?
I won't be hitting the pillow for a while, I can tell you that.
Well done. Thanks, Matty.
Oh, dear, yes. And the fans are delighted. They're allowed on the turf here at Football Park. And Crow fans wrapped, Cat fans disappointed, but their side did not go down without a mighty fight. Adelaide through to a preliminary final berth, 11-10-76. Geelong, their season over, 9-14-68.